What you think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to back.
Oh, welcome. I hope you get feeling better, man.
Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, hate is face. The
All right, give me a second to start Facebook. Michaela Robertson, I'm sorry you're not feeling well, man. Hope you get everything figured out, whatever it was. And hold on just a second. Get Facebook started here. I'm sure he can't hear me. I think he said he's got the volume turned off. But I hope he gets to feeling better. That sucks. There's a home inspector scandal. I know I'm late. I didn't even get to pick up Liam until after 10:30. And then as soon as I got back to the office, I had to shit. So I did wash my hands, in case anybody's wondering. That's taken care of. So I know some of y'all are out there like, oh, he shit, and now he's in my home, right? He's on my phone. Nope, I washed my hands. Thank you very much. I don't use soap though. I don't believe in it. Okay, I just use the water in the back of the toilet as I don't waste any water, and then go from there. Right? It's all water. It all washes out. It all come out in the wash. That's right. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Let me get Facebook started. Here we go. Oh, I'm low. Okay. Well, I hope you get to feeling better, man.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching
Maybe you washed your hands
Beer
too much.
Confessionals
Could be a problem.
with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard
Big
that it's
Daddy's
very
meat
thick,
stick.
like a good old German sausage.
Should I open up a
you know,
jerky line called
Linda
Big Daddy's
and
Meat
her
Stick?
Coochie loves that. Oh,
Start selling jerky.
never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Halo pads, 40 spots, 25 each. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm late. Liam had a soccer game. They got their brains beat in down in Knoxville at the Christian Academy of Knoxville. I think they lost like 7-0, but Liam got to play. He's a freshman, so he got to play the last couple minutes, and didn't get him till after 10:30. Had to take him home, and then across town is where the office is. Had to come back to the office, and as soon as I got here, I had to take a shit. It was wild. It was like perfect timing. Anyways, I am here. I am late. That's what we got so far. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. We'll hop right into it. If you want to support the show, you guys know how to do it. It's the website behind me. Or the website that the mods throw in the chat every once in a while, or the bot throws in there. They're just quick tools, or use one of the built-in tools, the bits, super stickers, super chats, subscriptions, whatever on Twitch or YouTube. I'd appreciate it. I'm going through the process of buying a house right now. Not much has changed on that. I'm actually getting pretty frustrated that I'm not hearing anything, but I'll keep you updated. Thank you guys. All right, where we left off yesterday, where we parked yesterday was this video. Now, since this video's come out, I've kind of looked this up. This is a rumor, okay? A former CIA analyst dropped this information on a podcast he was on, and I don't know that anybody has corroborated the evidence yet, okay? But what it says is Trump tried to nuke Iran, but was stopped by generals. And people have been running this story as, like, they're not claiming it's 100% true or the insider knowledge. They're just saying, hey, this is the rumor that's going around currently. Here we go.
Everybody pretends it's a huge victory for Trump, so he'll end this catastrophe. And guys, I've been saying that from the very beginning. That has been my approach to how we end this. The best possible way for the United States is to just get out of the conflict, give Donald Trump a little pat on the back after he shits his britches, tell him he's a big boy, and next time he'll make it to the potty.
I
Promise.
didn't see this until we were ending the show last night. So I kind of skipped through this video, but we'll actually watch it now.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And do you feel like you have whiplash? Do you need to call a personal injury attorney because this war is absolutely psychotic and we can't go 12 days without the entire narrative shifting from peace to full-scale war to back to peace to we won to we lost to the Strait of Hormuz is open, it's reclosed, back open, actually it's closed. Iran is firing on ships and we're back to threatening war crimes and civilization wipeouts as well as trying to use nukes. Man, whoa, it's wild out here, all in the span of about 48 hours as well. Pretty crazy, huh? And currently where we're at, yes, the Strait of Hormuz is completely closed. Our greatest ally broke the ceasefire about 1 hour into the new ceasefire that Donald Trump talked about Friday. And then reports are coming in that Donald Trump tried to use nuclear weapons on Iran on Saturday and was stopped by General Kane. So,
of course you did.
Lots going on, huh? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel. Follow us on Patreon. Grab some America First America Only merch. Let's jump into it. Let's start from the beginning. And the beginning is actually only Friday, but wow, this moves fast. So let's start at the beginning of, well, this current segment of the story of the war, which started Friday. And I think we can all remember that on Friday, we declared total and utter victory. Yes, that the Strait of Hormuz was completely open and ready for business and full passage, as Donald Trump says, but the naval blockade will remain in full force and effect as it pertains to Iran only. Until such time as our transaction with Iran is 100% complete, this process should go very quickly. And that most of the points are already negotiated.
He bounces back and forth from like these attacks and these missions. We got to do this till we've already won. It's already over. Everything's done. There's nothing to do.
Doesn't sound like it, actually. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Yes, things were going amazing. Isn't that interesting on Friday how there's always an announcement for peace every single Friday for the last 8 weeks? And then it just turns out over the weekend, it doesn't turn out to be true. It's almost like there's this is being done on purpose so that his son can insider trade oil futures. But who knows? What do I know? Now, again, historic peace. The Strait of Hormuz completely open. The only problem was about 54 minutes after that post, our greatest ally decided to continue bombing Lebanon. Yes, our greatest ally out there breaking world records and their own records for fastest ceasefire ever violated. And as it's been made very, very clear by Iran, Israel must stop attacking Lebanon if we want to have a peace deal or a ceasefire go through. And like we've talked about 100 times on the show, we all know that's not going to happen unless the United States forces it to happen. And it appears, like I said in the last episode about this, that we're going to...
So we all see Hezbollah as a terrorist organization, blah, blah, blah. Iran sees them as an ally in the Middle East.
Find out who's actually in charge of this country, depending on whether our greatest ally violated the ceasefire or not. And, well, it looks like we know who's in charge. And yes, after about 57 minutes of Donald Trump's post that the Strait of Hormuz was open, it was announced that the U.S. had failed to uphold its obligations, and Iran has once again closed the Strait of Hormuz. And that is currently where we sit as of right now of filming this video. Yes, there's no ceasefire, no peace deals, and Donald Trump is lashing out and threatening war crimes yet again. We'll get to that. But also yesterday, the Strait of Hormuz, which was supposed to be open, had this going on. Yes, 2 Indian ships that thought the strait was open because Donald Trump told them it was, were fired on by Iranian forces gunboats, which, isn't that interesting? I thought Iran's Navy was completely destroyed, but their Navy is just in the Strait of Hormuz firing on oil tankers. So, okay, that's odd. When the Indian oil tankers tried to cross. And as you can see here, they were turned around as they were nearing the island of Hormuz. Okay, great. Now, important to remember that as Donald Trump said, the blockade to the blockade is still in effect. So now Iran is saying that the Strait of Hormuz will be permanently closed until the U.S. naval blockade is also lifted. So yes, not looking like peace is really what's going on right now. And reporting today as of just a few hours ago is, yes, Strait of Hormuz shipping again near standstill after shots and seizures. Because yes, the United States also fired upon and boarded and seized an Iranian tanker. And of course, we all know who violated the ceasefire. Nobody's actually questioning that other than Donald Trump. So here's what he said happened. Trump says Iran decided to fire bullets yesterday in the Strait of Hormuz, a total violation of our ceasefire agreement. Many of them were aimed at a French ship and a freighter from the United Kingdom. That wasn't nice. My representatives are going to Islamabad, Pakistan, which sounds like that's been canceled as well. They'll be there tomorrow evening for negotiations. Iran recently announced they are closing the strait, which is strange because our blockade already closed it. Yes, Donald Trump is now taking credit for the Strait of Hormuz being closed, pretending like Iran closing the Strait of Hormuz was his idea. Okay. They're helping us without knowing, and they're the ones that closed the passage, $500 million a day. Okay. And so while Donald Trump is claiming that the Strait of Hormuz being closed is actually helping all of us, this is also what he said about the Strait of Hormuz being closed. Yes, and again, I'm sorry for your whiplash in your neck, but here we go. So after he says that it's a good thing that Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz again, he then says the blockade is going to remain, and unfortunately, we'll have to start dropping bombs again. Well, that seems a little odd if the Strait of Hormuz being closed was actually helping us. Why would we then resort to bombing?
That sucks, Marianne. I hope you get to feeling better.
And here's where it gets a little psychotic, and we get into the craziest part of the episode, talking about what Donald Trump attempted to do on Saturday, or at least reports are saying. But it kind of makes sense when we see his most recent post here. Yes, Donald Trump is crashing out and is back to threatening complete and total annihilation of the civilian populace. It says here, President Trump tells Fox News' Trey Yinks that it is the last chance for Iran to agree to a deal. I know we've heard that about 47 times. Vowing to not make the same mistakes as former President Obama, if Iran does not sign this deal, the whole country is getting blown up, Trump says. And of course, he actually said this. Again, we're back to threatening genocide of an entire civilization. And he says here, whole country's getting blown up if Iran doesn't sign the deal. Now, the reason why this is important is for us to understand what apparently just took place on Saturday. The reporting's coming out. Retired CIA analyst Larry Johnson said during an emergency meeting on Saturday, Trump tried to use the nuclear codes on Iran, and he was stopped by General Dan Kane. We are literally inches away from destruction. No wonder Trump's new ballroom doubles as a bunker. Oh, that can't be true. Trump would never do that. But again, he's literally threatening to do it. How do you think you blow up a country that's 3 times the size of Texas with 100 million people in it? Nuclear weapons. Now, ready for some more whiplash? Now, while Donald Trump is threatening to nuclear annihilate an entire civilian populace, he's also saying this. We have a very good relationship with Iran right now, as hard as that is to believe. Okay. And where that leaves us
great.
As of right now, yes, those peace talks that were supposed to happen in Pakistan.
There's no way I would send J.D. Vance to talk to anybody, right? Unless you wanted the war to keep going.
And turns out J.D. Vance will not be attending them, citing security concerns. So where is this problem all stemming from? Why can't we have a ceasefire remain in place? Why can't we
Easy peasy.
actively work towards a peace deal? Well, we know, because a certain someone is refusing to let that happen. As again, part of the peace deal has to be that Lebanon is left alone, and they're not going to be. So breaking as of about an hour of me filming this, it says, our greatest ally entrenches hold on South Lebanon, warns residents to stay out. So it says, our greatest ally is entrenching its grip over southern Lebanon despite a ceasefire in the war with Hezbollah. And when I talked about who is actually in charge, well, we found out. Because Donald Trump said, our greatest ally will not be bombing Lebanon any longer. They are prohibited, all caps, from doing so by the United States of America. Enough is enough. Thank you, President Donald J. Trump. And guess what they decided to do? Straight middle finger to Donald Trump and the United States, as they don't care what this guy says, because, again, it doesn't look like he's in control of the situation or that he's the one calling the shots. And you don't have to take my word for it. Let's take it straight out of the horse's mouth.
כדי להשיג את הפסקת האש, חיזבאללה התעקש על שני תנאים. התנאי הראשון, ישראל חייבת לסגת מכל שטחה של לבנון, עד הגבול הבינלאומי. תנאי שני, הפסקת אש במתכונת שקט תמורת שקט. לא הסכמתי לא לזה ולא לזה, ואכן שני התנאים האלה אינם מתקיימים.
We are staying in Lebanon. We are not leaving. We're staying in Lebanon in a reinforced security zone.
אנחנו נשארים בלבנון ברצועת ביטחון מעובה.
There you go. He said himself, he agrees to none of those conditions, and then he refuses to stop the war with Lebanon. So, great. Looks like no peace is coming, because we can't seem to put a lid on that, even though we're the ones that pay for their military and their ability to do this. We somehow still aren't in control. Isn't that bizarre? I wonder why. And of course, since everybody knows what's going on with this, of course, Donald Trump was crashing out on Truth Social yet again about it. Yes, Trump says, our greatest ally never talked me into a war with Iran. The results of October 7th added to my lifelong opinion that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. I watch and read the fake news pundits and polls in total disbelief. 90% of what they say are lies and made up stories, and the polls are rigged. He's talking about the polls showing that basically the vast majority of America no longer supports them. But yeah, those are made up polls for sure. Just like the results in Venezuela, which the media doesn't like talking about, the results in Iran will be amazing. Okay. Okay. If you have to scream at people and type in all caps that someone didn't force you to do something, it's not a good way to show people that they didn't force you to do it. And of course, he continues to crash out on the subject, as he says here. Whether people like our greatest ally or not, they've proven to be a great ally of the United States of America. For context, they are not an ally
Of course.
the United States of America.
The greatest ally.
I'll type it in. We'll do this in real time. Does the U.S. and Israel have any formal treaty of alliance? What's the answer say? No, the United States and Israel do not have a formal alliance, NATO-style mutual defense treaty. So for those of you who didn't know, they are literally not our ally. Not my opinion, objectively. Isn't it funny how a country that we have no formal alliances or defense treaties with, we give $40 billion a year to fund their military? Wonder why. Bizarre stuff, isn't it? But how are things going with our actual NATO allies? Well, pretty good. As you can see here, the country of France wouldn't even let our planes headed to our greatest ally loaded up with military supplies. Why those are being shipped there to begin with, don't know. Fly over French territory. France has been very unhelpful with respect to the butcher of Iran. So yes, this just adds to the United States allies who are now refusing to allow the United States to use their military bases or their airspace to conduct this war. Yeah. Okay. But they're on the way to help, we promise, according to Donald Trump. Now, of course, the maggots immediately flocked to make a fool out of themselves the second Donald Trump posted that the Strait of Hormuz is open and peace is here at last. All right, this dork says Iran is never closing the Strait of Hormuz again. Wow, this thing aged like milk about 52 minutes after he posted it, huh?
Iran has agreed to never close the Strait of Hormuz again.
Iran has agreed to never close the Strait of Hormuz again.
I don't even think they agreed the first time.
Used as a weapon against the world. Even Ann Coulter, an absolute massive supporter of Donald Trump, comes out and says, yay, the strait that was open before we began bombing Iran is open again. Everybody pretend this is a huge victory for Trump, so he'll end this catastrophe. And guys, I've been saying that from the very beginning. That has been my approach to how we end this. The best possible way for the United States is to just get out of the conflict, give Donald Trump a little pat on the back after he shit his britches, tell him he's a big boy, and next time he'll make it to the potty, we promise. And we come home and maybe actually focus on this country. Kind of a pipe dream, I bet, but who knows at this point. And Donald Trump is even weighing in on himself. Yes, just in, President Real Donald Trump shares post by Warlord Dilly calling out General Flynn, Patrick Burns, Stu Peters, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, the Hodge twins, Tucker Carlson, and Owen Schroyer. The fact I didn't make this list is actually a little bit disappointing, to be honest. It says maybe it's time to shut the fuck up and let him.
You guys remember Brandon Dilly? Some of our former viewers left the show when I kind of lost my shit on Trump, and they went to join the Dilly meme team.
Him cook. And then Donald Trump literally reposting videos of people saying to trust him.
Do you remember what it was like when the 2020 election was rigged and stolen? Do you remember all the bullshit stories people told you about how the fraudulent election would be overturned? Do you remember the symbols of tyranny when fences went up around D.C. for Joe Biden's inauguration? Do you remember?
By the way, Trump told you that they would be overturned.
fuel and
Absolutely out of control. And also, I love how they use a clip showing the price of gas under Joe Biden at $3.19 a gallon, as if that's high compared to what Trump has now done. Yeah, friendly reminder, gas is hitting prices like this in some places right now. So what's going to happen from here? Well, the fact that it looks like Donald Trump was trying to literally nuke Iran over the weekend, I would say that the war is probably not about to wind down. It looks like massive escalation is probably coming. Would not be shocked to see boots on the ground coming very, very soon after this. And another reason why this probably is not ending anytime soon. Again, as we mentioned before, yes, Trump's family and his buddies making a killing off this. So check this out. Literally minutes before Trump declared the Strait of Hormuz open again, a trader offloaded 8,000 Brent crude oil future contracts, effectively a $760 million wager that oil prices were about to fall 5 minutes before, with almost $1 billion wager. Now, who even has the money to do that? I don't know. Someone like Jared Kushner comes to mind, but what do I know? So guys, there we are. We're caught up over the last 72 hours. Who knows where the next 72 hours is going to take us, but I'm sure it's not in a good direction. But we'll just have to wait and see, and I'll cover it then. It's going to do it for this one. Catch y'all in the next video.
So the rumor is that General Kane had to stop Trump. And that he wanted access to the nuclear codes. General Kane stopped. Oh, here's David Pakman covering it. The Dilly meme team, that's right.
Over this past weekend, Donald Trump demanded the nuclear codes, presumably to nuke Iran. This report is being attributed to retired CIA analyst Larry Johnson. The report is that Trump was stopped from obtaining the nuclear codes by one of his military generals. Now, many of you wrote in and asked, is this true? Did this really happen? Is this verifiable? What do we know? And by the way, who is retired CIA analyst Larry Johnson? All good questions. According to the report, Donald Trump was stopped from obtaining and potentially attempting to use the nuclear codes by
Donald Trump is... Wait. Tell me if you see anything wrong in this statement. Wacko James Carville, a so-called Democrat strategist, wants the Democrats to make D.C. and Puerto Rico states. Most importantly, he wants to pack the Supreme Court, putting 13 justices on the court. Other Democrats, want 21 justices. If they pull off adding these two states, these country-destroying sleaze bags will dominate politics in America. Hold on just a second. Let me change out this cord. Put that there. Okay. Sorry. These country-destroying sleazebags will dominate politics in America if we even have a nation left for 100 years. Then in parentheses, in all caps, it says, terminate the filibuster. Now listen, this next part. They are already doing great with the Supreme Court. However, the Democrat justices stick together like glue, totally loyal to the people and ideology that got them there. They are an immovable force. There is nothing that can be done to change that. Frankly, I respect that a lot. Certain Republican appointees let the Democrats push them around, always wanting to be popular, politically correct, or even worse, wanting to show how independent, in quotes, they are. Listen to this next statement. With very little loyalty to the man who appointed them. Trump is directly asking or telling, prescribing that Supreme Court justices should be loyal to him if he appointed them. He's not even trying to hide it. He's not even saying like, look, the Constitution is supposed to be this way. You should, I think the Constitution is interpreted this way. We have a very good argument for this. He's just saying, hey, why don't you have loyalty for me? I appointed you. You should be loyal to me. I got you the job. with very little loyalty to the man that appointed them, or more importantly, the ideology from which they came to be nominated and confirmed. Everyone knows that, as an example, birthright citizenship, which is unconditional and absent from any other developed or successful country, is a disaster for the United States of America. Not true. No country can be successful with such an anchor wrapped firmly around its neck. But based on the questioning by Republican-nominated justices that I watched firsthand in the court, which was also very fucking weird, right? The president should be separated from the court, should be separated from the Department of Justice, should be separated from the FBI, should be separated from these intelligence agencies, but Trump wants to lean on them and tell them exactly what to do, which I watched firsthand in the court. We lose. As another example, if the Supreme Court put in one sentence stating that any money paid in tariffs to the United States of America to this point does not have to be returned to many people who hate our country, they would have saved the American taxpayers a minimum of $159 billion. Is that true? First of all, they're not ruling on whether he's got to give refunds or not. They're ruling under whether this was constitutional or not. They said no, under the authority that he used, he could not do. But Trump said, don't worry. Don't worry at all. I have all these other ways, and tariffs will be back on in a few days. That still hasn't happened, right? Second of all, the refunds go to the people who fucking paid them, as they should if it was an unconstitutional law, right? If you didn't have the power to invoke that law, yeah, give them the fucking money back. It's not that they're costing the taxpayers money. It's that you fucked up and collected money that you weren't legally able to collect against businesses that shouldn't have had to pay it, passed on to customers who shouldn't have to pay it, and now it's got to be returned. It's not that the Supreme Court is wasting taxpayer money. This isn't money we should have had in the first place. You shouldn't have passed the big, beautiful bill and gave all those tax cuts. All they had to do was read the dissents written by Justice Kavanaugh. It was a close call. It wasn't a 9-0 decision. What a difference it would have made for our country. I put certain people on the United States Supreme Court who totally misrepresented who they were and the true ideology for which they stand. President Donald J. Trump. Imagine any other president openly addressing the Supreme Court in public, not in private, or not being like, that guy doesn't remember I put him there, right? To one of his buddies. In public, on social media, saying, why aren't these Supreme Court justices loyal to me? I appointed them. They need to be loyal to the man who put them there. That's insane, dude. That's crazy. Let's let Pac-Man talk about this. I don't know that it's true. This could just be a crazy rumor.
By General Dan Kane. One report coming out of the meeting at the White House is Trump wanted to use the nuclear codes, and General Dan Kane stood up and said no and invoked his privilege as head of the military.
Yes, he tweeted directly people he wanted Pam Bondi to go after. But I think he thought it was a text message and accidentally posted it, or a private message or something. Because it seems like he's just talking to her personally. It doesn't even seem like it should be something that he posted. That was so weird.
And it was apparently a huge blowup. That is the reporting that has taken place. This, of course, appears to relate directly to the more trustworthy report that Donald Trump was blocked from being in the Situation Room over the weekend, which we spoke about yesterday. And part of
that one seems more true. That Donald Trump is so erratic and so quick to make these fucking fired from the hip decisions that during the pilot rescue operation, they banned him, the president, from the Situation Room. They didn't want him in there while they were rescuing this downed pilot.
The confusion or the controversy around this is that these are two different reports. Trump blocked from the Situation Room appears to be quite well sourced. Trump tried to use the nuclear codes. Well, we're going to try to figure it out. Now, the claim goes back to this Larry Johnson.
Whoever's planning on doing the 25th Amendment to Trump to put J.D. Vance in place after the midterms, will 100% use this. We had to keep him out of the Situation Room when we went to rescue this pilot because he's too erratic. They will 100% use that as evidence.
Often described as a retired CIA analyst. Now, that is true. It is technically true that that is his current former position, but it's also misleading because Johnson hasn't been an active intelligence official for decades, and he doesn't really have a track record that would justify trusting claims of this magnitude that the president attempted to use the nuclear codes. And in recent years, this Johnson guy has been known for pushing a lot of different controversial and really unverified narratives, especially on foreign policy. So it is not the sort of person I would necessarily take their word for on breaking unconfirmed national security stories. Now, I think that that really matters here, and this is something the left should take seriously. If an American president had actually tried to launch nuclear weapons and was stopped in a confrontation with a general, I doubt that that would stay contained to the reporting of just one person. I think you would very quickly see confirmation of that from other media outlets, arguably more trustworthy media outlets. As of right now, there is none, and it's been more than 12 hours of this story being out. Now, is it possible that minutes after we publish this, there will be that corroboration from Reuters or the Washington Post or someone? It's possible, and in that case, I will come back and I will revisit the story. Right now, the nuclear codes claim, as it's being presented, is not verified, and I am certainly not ready to treat it as fact. Now, there's a layer here where things are getting more complicated, and this is where some people are getting confused. There are credible reports, which we spoke about yesterday, that the way that national security decisions are being handled is totally inappropriate. And there are credible reports that Donald Trump was excluded from the Situation Room during the rescue mission of the downed airmen in Iran. Those are reliable reports. And those involve journalists. They involve Bob Woodward and others. And the description of what took place is that officials were alarmed enough to put some guardrails in place. They slowed down some decisions. And during certain key and sensitive moments in the Situation Room, Donald Trump was in the West Wing, not in the Situation Room. So that's a different story. And it's really important not to get the two stories mixed up. That one is well sourced. The one about Trump attempting to use the nuclear codes as of this moment is not at all well sourced. Now, the other aspect of this that I think is important is that when you start to see a pattern of behavior, it can become easy for opportunists to put in less well sourced information. The real pattern that we see is that Trump's behavior is erratic. Officials are trying to manage that. Officials are trying to contain risky decisions and to kind of keep Trump under control. And then on top of that is layered this sensational claim that Trump tried to use the nuclear codes. And so there's this instinct of like, it feels kind of real because it doesn't go that much further from what is well sourced. But as of this point in time, we really don't have the information to suggest that that's going on. Now, there's one other layer to this. Some of the credible reporting suggests that Trump was at times limited in how he was engaging with high-level national security processes, and that includes participation in discussions above and beyond the Situation Room this past weekend. That does reflect a real concern around Donald Trump, which is that the people around him are worried that his presence and his involvement in decisions only makes the outcome potentially worse. That is very different than he tried to launch nukes and a general stopped him. So we are going to continue following the story. If there is additional reporting or sourcing on the nukes part, I will bring it to you. But I think even in this environment where completely insane things are happening just about every day, we do want to try to adhere to some basics about sourcing. And they are benefiting right now, those spreading the Trump tried to use the nuke codes story, they're benefiting from the fact that it is.
By the way, never, ever, ever, I don't care how much you like it, never, ever, 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 ever watch Seinfeld ever again. Every time you do, Steve Bannon gets a little more money.
Is very similar to another story that is well sourced, and they are sort of being merged, and the reporting is increasingly murky. Retired CIA analyst Larry Johnson, if that's the source, right now I would be quite skeptical. Let me know your thoughts, and of course, if we get additional sourcing on that, I will bring it to you, and I will bring it to you
It does seem like there's not a whole lot of credibility in this claim. Just some guy saying it on a podcast, and because he has a CIA background, people are like, "Oh, he must know." I haven't seen more evidence to prove that out. As much as I tend to believe it, I just haven't seen the evidence for it. Also, I know Trump's been going back and forth with the Pope. This is something I didn't know about the Pope, and maybe you don't know about the Pope. The Pope, the head of the Catholic Church, he's a Muslim.
Closer to Jesus Christ than the Pope is. The Pope is going to hell.
So that first statement he just said, well, he's closer to Jesus Christ than the Pope is. Who do you think he's talking about? When he says, well, who is he that is closer to Jesus Christ than the Pope? By the way, Catholic, both devout Catholics. They're talking about Trump being closer to Jesus Christ than the Pope.
Closer to Jesus Christ than the Pope is. The Pope is going to hell. He's a woke piece of shit. And he's not Christian. He's not
what?
Christian. He's not Christian. He's on the side of the Islamics, and that makes him evil as shit. And as far as I'm concerned, the Pope is going to fucking hell.
So, as a Catholic, you believe the Pope is
fallible,
closer to God, or Donald Trump is closer to God
than the Pope,
than the guy who's getting messages from Jesus to deliver to his people. Okay.
Got it.
Pope's not getting messages.
Right? Isn't that what a Pope is? Like they're basically the voice of God for
no, they're
people?
supposed to be for Christianity
to save people.
And he's not in Christianity. He's in Islam.
He wants.
Trump's over here on his Truth Social announcing investigations into his enemies as if it's some type of like, oh, the Justice Department's now looking into Comey. Yeah, we know you told them to do that, bro. It's not like before, if we'd had Biden saying, oh, the Justice Department is looking into Anthony Fauci, I'd be like, holy shit, right? There must be some type of evidence that they thought it was pertinent to announce this investigation to the public about this large figure. There's got to be something sketch there, right? I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm not saying he's innocent, but there's got to be they had to base this investigation on something. Now Trump announces it. We're just like, oh, yeah, you told them to go after your enemies again. We got it.
He's not in Christianity. He's in Islam.
He wants to unite.
He's in Christianity. They're supposed to be for Christianity
to save people.
And he's not in Christianity. He's in Islam.
He wants to unite.
He's an Islamic motherfucker.
He wants to unite all faiths together, and that will never happen.
I want him to go to hell. Closer to.
He's an Islamic fucker. I want him to go to hell. Well, obviously they weren't very good Catholics to begin with, but is there any Christian doctrine at all, Catholic or not, or Protestant, where you want people to go to hell? Is that a thing? I've never heard of it, but maybe I'm out of touch. That could just be me. Who knows?
All right, what's going on, everyone? So a lot to get into today as President Trump just announced that the United States is extending the ceasefire with Iran indefinitely. Not one.
And by the way, Iran said, we didn't ask for this. Trump says they're begging for it because they're destroyed.
Week, not 2 weeks, but until a deal is reached, which could be a while. I mean, this might be.
I personally thought, if I would have looked back on this 4 or 5 years ago, the first Trump administration, the Biden administration, when Trump was elected, up until, the last couple months, I personally thought that was it. When Trump comes out and they're faced with this decision, my religion that I've been part of my entire life, or Trump, they would have went with, look, that was it. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm done. I can't do it anymore. Even if they didn't announce it publicly. I never thought as many people would be like Sean Hannity going live on air saying, I'm no longer a Catholic. I'm a Trumplik or whatever.
The new status quo. Just long-term ceasefire with Iran. We've got a blockade in effect. We're seizing their ships around the world, and we're going to work towards a deal over the coming weeks, months, and years. Now, importantly, this came after Iran announced that they would not be going to Pakistan to meet with Vice President Vance and the U.S. delegation. And just
yes, Trump said, oh, they're going to be there. We're very close to a deal. We think we can have this worked out in 24, 48 hours. They're like, we're not even coming, bro.
A couple days after, and this one's flying under the radar. I don't know why. We're going to link all the sources here and we'll run through it. The head of the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency says that Iran has expanded their war aims because they now understand how much influence they have over the Strait of Hormuz. They know the leverage that is there, so no longer are they only concerned with regime survival. They expect concessions from the United States. Again, I feel like that should be getting more attention, because all we're seeing in the last few days is the talks are about to happen, or they're not. We, for a few days, have heard the Vice President Vance is like in the air, or that he's already en route to Pakistan. He's not. He's still here in the United States. And earlier today, Iran said, we're not going, because the United States has not moved from their maximalist demands and because the blockade is still in effect. Now, digging into this, President Trump just a few moments ago said, quote, based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, not unexpectedly so, and upon the request of Field Marshal Asim Munir and Prime Minister Sharif of Pakistan, we have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such a time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and in all other respects remain steady and able, and will therefore extend the ceasefire until such a time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded one way or another. Now, make no mistake, this is going to be interpreted inside of IRGC circles as the U.S. folding. They're going to present this as President Trump drew a line in the sand. The Iranians would not meet to talk through this, so the United States had to back down. Now, we're kind of having to read between the tea leaves. I will say there's been a lot of hype on the U.S. side in recent days about how a deal is almost done. We're almost there. And then the threats, right? President Trump, within the last 72 hours, Iran better strike a deal by this deadline or else. We're going to go after their energy infrastructure. We're going to go after their bridges. He and Secretary Hegseth have been hammering that home for days. Finally, we come up to the deadline, and instead of strikes, we get a push, an indefinite push of the ceasefire. Now, from the Iranian side, Tasnim News said, quote, despite all of the hype and rumors from the American and from the media and American officials, the Iranian negotiating team has announced to the American side that they will not be present in Pakistan on Wednesday, and that there is currently no prospect of participating in the negotiations. This statement was made earlier today. We had all this back and forth, up, down, and sideways for the last 48 hours. It wasn't entirely clear when the ceasefire was going to end. All right, there's like 3 or 4 different times that have been floated out there based off of different announcements that have been made over the course of the last 2 weeks, but everyone generally agreed that today was kind of the final stretch if something was actually going to happen. President Trump earlier this morning said that he was unlikely to extend the ceasefire, so it sounded like, well, we're either going to talk or there's going to be new strikes. But then the talks didn't happen. There have been reports that Vice President Vance was already in the air on the way to Pakistan. That clearly wasn't the case. And then from the Iranian side, just a lot of skepticism. A lot of people saying they're not going. It doesn't look like they're moving. And the reasons they gave were the blockade is still in effect. Maybe that is a violation of the ceasefire, and say we're not going to talk with the United States so long as that blockade is still there. Very similar to what they did with the fighting in Lebanon. They said we're not going to talk until the ceasefire is in effect. So the blockade was one. And the second was they said the Americans have not backed down from their excessive demands. And that's an important one because based off of what the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency said just like 6 days ago, it looks like Iran might be looking for more out of these negotiations now than when the war started in the first place. And something tells me that we probably are not entering these talks with the idea of concessions in mind. Just based off of all the rhetoric, all the ways that this is being presented, you have to assume that we're going into this expecting more than we would have gotten on February 27th. But it's entirely possible the Iranians view this in a very different light. Now, before diving into that, a quick thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Ground News. So while everyone's been focused on the Middle East and Strait of Hormuz, understandably so, something else just happened that barely made a splash. Satellite images show China deploying warships and a floating barrier to block the Scarborough Shoal, a key fishing area within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, stoking tensions that analysts warn could escalate into armed conflict. Now, this story actually came from Ground News, which is sponsoring today's video. It's an app that aggregates thousands of news stories daily, organizing them by topic while showing each story's political bias, reliability, and ownership. Now, this story has been covered by over 35 different outlets, mostly from the right and the center, with a notable share of Asian and non-Western media and about 15% independent sources. And depending where you look, the perspectives can be pretty different. For example, Time frames Trump's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz as setting a precedent that China could use around Taiwan, while the right-leaning Foundation for Defense of Democracies focuses on China's expanding control in the South China Sea. Same story, completely different framing, which is why I like Ground News. Now, one feature that I've really been enjoying is Blind Spot. It shows you stories covered mostly or entirely by one side of the political spectrum. So no matter where you sit politically, you're getting a filtered version of reality, and Ground News helps you see what you're missing. So go to ground.news/Preston or scan the QR code on the screen for 40% off the Unlimited Access Advantage plan, which is the same one that I use. Subscribe to Ground News today at ground.news/Preston. And thank you again to Ground News for sponsoring today's video. All right, so this is one that I don't know why it's flying under the radar. It's very, very important. It's coming from the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, Lieutenant General Adams. So these are not, anonymous, unnamed sources that are familiar with the intelligence process or leaks or hit pieces in various media outlets. This is the head of the DIA. So that is the intelligence arm of the Pentagon. All right, so in front of the House Armed Services Subcommittee on Intelligence and Special Operations on April 16th, so just a couple days ago, he said, quote, Tehran almost certainly expanded its wartime objectives beyond securing the regime's survival to include deterring strikes on Iran and extracting U.S. concessions, primarily by exploiting its control of the Strait of Hormuz. So essentially, we kind of gave Iran a bit of a present here, where there's always this talk and this speculation of like, what would happen if the strait was closed? What exactly would the response be around the world? And Iran took that step, dangerous step, no doubt, escalatory step in a lot of ways, and they found out that it's actually pretty easy to close it down. It might actually be a pretty significant revenue generator for them, depending on how this shakes out going forward. And it's in a lot of ways their deterrent, right? They've been looking towards a nuclear weapon was kind of the deterrent of choice. It takes a long time to get there. You take a lot of airstrikes in the process. Shutting down the strait is very easy, and it looks like Iran found out, wait a minute, we can actually ask for more of the United States now than we would have before this war started.
Damn.
General Adams here continues.
70 chess.
Saying,
what's up, Grassroots? Long time no see, man.
Attack UAVs that can threaten U.S. and partner forces throughout the region, despite degradations to its capabilities from both attrition and expenditure. He added that Iran will likely further asymmetric warfare advancements to augment its conventional capabilities as it remains in conflict with the United States and Israel. The missile launchers and the missiles and the drones we've heard again.
I gave a massive back shot last night. Glad you got a back pump.
all sorts of different assessments from unnamed sources. This is coming directly from the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. Thousands of missiles and one-way attack drones. So, how many does it take to shut down the Strait of Hormuz? How many does it take to terrorize our Gulf partners? Less than 1,000, right? So Iran does still, despite the degradation of their military force, does still have significant capabilities. And to that end, the general went on saying that
it's like fucking Elmer's glue. You should have been there.
Before the 2026 conflict, Iran had attempted to restore its degraded defense and mitigate its military capability shortfalls that were exposed in the 12-day war. He said Iran prepared designated succession plans for military commanders and decentralized command and control, which enabled Tehran to partially mitigate the effectiveness of coalition decapitation strikes. Partially mitigate, right? It took a lot.
I've been adding a thickening agent to my morning yogurt, so we'll see what happens. I'm hoping to shoot webs by the end of the year.
A lot of damage throughout their chain of command. We have a hard time, I think, in this conflict, a lot of conflicts, of going to the extremes. Either they have
great power comes great responsibility, guys.
No command and control left at all, or it's entirely intact. What he's getting at is it is probably more intact than we would assume based off of how many have been taken out, because leading up to this conflict, they had put in procedures to make sure that if a commander is taken out, his entire command does not just disintegrate. There's a very clear succession of command down there.
That's part of it.
Centralized. So as those strikes come in, they're still able to carry out operations. He added Iran's former supreme leader maintained his nuclear weapons.
Hey, Grassroots,
war despite.
Have you been here since I've been trying? I'm trying to buy a house, dude. My first house ever. It's not going great, but I'm trying. So there you go. That's news. You might have been here since then. It's been going on for a few weeks, so.
Iranian officials warning that strikes against Iranian nuclear facilities would cause Tehran to reconsider weaponization.
We're under contract, waiting for an appraisal and shit.
I want to include that because I feel like that is contradictory to a lot of the other assessments that we've heard from the White House and the Pentagon since during the lead up and the execution of this war. He's saying that Iran was not planning on pursuing a nuclear weapon. Again, this is the public testimony in front of Congress just last week. I don't know why this is not getting more attention than it is. And in terms of the Iranian population standing up, he's kind of saying, nah, it's just not going to be a thing. Iranian authorities almost.
Yeah, in my hometown, it's really close to the kids' school. It's got a big yard. It doesn't have a garage. That's something I'll have to add later. I really, really, really need a garage. I'm tired of working in the driveway on shit. But the house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, partial basement. Maybe move the stream to the house instead of the office. Save that money. We're really excited. And plus, I got a 14-year-old. Be 15 this summer. He needs his own room. Right now, he's sharing a room with his little brother. So we're trying to keep my income up and my liabilities low. So we're trying. We'll get there.
Most certainly are keenly aware of widespread discontent among the Iranian populace, judging from the volume of celebrations following the former supreme leader's death, and have instituted drastic measures to thwart any attempt at a popular uprising. So I think there were a lot of folks kind of hoping that would be the case in the immediate aftermath of the opening wave of strikes by the U.S. and Israel. We would see a popular uprising in Iran. It has not materialized yet. There's no indications that it's coming. And the general here saying, look, the Iranian regime has cracked down significantly, even more in the wake of the protests in January and February. Now, if we're entering into this new era of a long-term ceasefire, one of the tactics available to the United States is going to be the seizure of Iranian vessels. And we just had another one. The Pentagon put this clip out just a few hours ago, saying overnight U.S. forces conduct a.
Trump's also running around claiming that 8 women are about to be hanged. Iran came out and said Trump was misled once again by fake news. The women who were claimed to be on the verge of execution, some of them have been released, while others face charges that, if convictions are upheld, would at most result in imprisonment. Oh shit! Thank you very much. Damn, there's a bunch of memberships. Thank you very much. 10 gifted memberships. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm getting too old but nice. Yeah, I've actually been looking at putting a metal building in the backyard, a garage, at least a small one, and then like I want a small lift too. That's eventually I'll get there. But right now, just this is my first time. I've never owned a house before, so that's a big deal if I can just get to that point. So Iran's claiming that these women, some of them aren't even in jail anymore. The rest of them, it says, while others face charges that, if convictions are upheld, not appealed, would at most result in imprisonment. But there's this big meme going around with these 8 women's pictures on it, claiming that they're going to be executed in the next coming days, and that if they want to negotiate with Trump, this would be a great step forward, releasing all these women. But they were claimed to be arrested in connection. I know at least one of them is a woman that was arrested with 3 other men. And they were on top of a 3-story building throwing concrete blocks at Iranian forces. Another woman supposedly used her motorcycle to just take wounded protesters to and from the protest. I guess wounded from the protest. So she was driving them around. Obviously, that doesn't deserve a death sentence. But Iran's claiming that some of them are released, the rest of them are facing prison time. Not execution.
right of visit, maritime interdiction, and boarding of the stateless.
Thank you very much for that, Grassroots. I appreciate that. 10 gifted subs. Thank you.
Without incident in the Indo-PACOM area responsibility. As we made clear, we will pursue global maritime enforcement standards to disrupt illicit networks.
If we get the house, I'll take you on a little walkthrough and tour. It was a flipper, but not like a typical flipper. They actually did a really, really good job. It's not like they just threw it together and panicked and did everything wrong, half-assed. Well, they did really good installation. They did all the electrical's been replaced. Everything's been replaced. It's got nice flooring in it. It's got upgraded fixtures and switches and everything. Everything's been replaced in it. So I'm excited if we get it to show everybody.
Interdict sanctioned vessels providing material support to Iran anywhere they operate. International waters are not a refuge for sanctioned vessels. The Department of War will continue to deny illicit actors and their vessels freedom of maneuver in the maritime domain. And this was actually the second seizure of an Iranian ship carried out by the U.S. Navy in the last 48 hours on April 9th.
Without doxing myself, I'd like to show everybody, at least the inside or something.
And we now have footage of this as well. The MV Tuska was interdicted trying to move into the Persian Gulf. So this was one where the U.S. Navy for 6 hours was trying to get them to stop and turn around. They didn't. Eventually, the U.S. warned them, get everybody out of the engine room. They fired on the vessel and then boarded it and took it over. So we know that the Tuska was a...
I'm looking at getting a flush-mounted lift that's just got like it looks like a mini 4-post lift because it's just got the 2 risers and you put blocks on it. They make them up to support 10,000 pounds. 10,000 pounds is a goddamn F-350. Like, if that's not enough weight, then I don't know. But I like how it says flush in the floor and doesn't block anything. So you can drive around it, move. You don't always have to be a lift, but we'll see.
Sanctioned vessel. Looks like it was heading from China to Iran when it was interdicted by the United States. We don't know exactly what was on board. In this one, I've already heard there's been speculation that there was dual-use technology or dual-use items. That's very broad, and dual-use means that it could serve a civilian and a military purpose. So that if it was all missiles, let's say, or all small arms, that's not dual use. That is
If all else fails, I get a 2-post lift. I mean, some of the 2-post lifts are actually cheaper than like a flush mount lift. But it's just always there, right? It takes up space.
A military shipment moving to Iran. Dual use could be something like chemicals used in ballistic missile fuel, right? Or steel, maybe. That could be used for civilian purposes, of course, but also could be used for military purposes. We'll see where that goes. From my understanding, at this point, there has not been a release of the manifest, and the Marines that were on board are still conducting a search. But if this ceasefire stays in place...
It seems like if this had any military-type stuff on it, they would have released the manifest already and said, hey, there was this on it, and this happened, and blah, blah, blah. Not like, oh, it's dual use. Potatoes.
Again, indefinitely, one of the methods that we should expect to see more of here are the seizures of Iranian ships, and not just right outside the Strait of Hormuz and off the Iranian coast, but apparently around the world. But that's all we got for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.
Yeah, something like this. Hold on. I just saw a video pop up. I guess where I've been watching them. Like a dual scissor lift. Double scissor lift, maybe.
What up, Beachy? Need a wee bit of arrangements around.
And I like how they flush mount them, right? They're like recessed in the ground, so when they're down, you drive right over them. You don't lose any floor space. I guess it's showing him install it, but that's not what I'm interested in.
Right. Double safety. This middle hose dropping in, docks.
I like him to show it in the down position. That'd be nice.
You'll get that with the lift. You have to order them extra. And they're not that bad. They're not too dear, to be honest with you.
Those are cool. Accessories.
Not stupidly expensive. Else, I just want to show you another thing. Underneath here. So
here it is. I like the fact that it sets flush. So if you want to do anything else in that garage area, you don't have the fucking post in the way.
And then the lower limit switch then prevents any further going down.
Yeah.
So your toes don't get...
We're going to pour the concrete. I want to pour it extra thick there, obviously, and then I want to have it recessed like that. Usually it's like 4 and some inches, but what most people are doing is just leaving, like, when they pour the pad, leave like 5.5 inches, and then if they need to bring it up an inch or two, just use leveling cement, right, and bring it up. I don't know. It's cool.
Or something.
I can't wait to work on cars with a lift at my house, dude. That would be fucking amazing, dude. I don't even have asphalt. Right now, I'm crawling around in gravel and fucking ant piles and shit.
8 buttons to this one, and you get...
It sucks.
A very annoying beep.
I don't like that at all.
But in she goes. So
I'd rip that beeper out.
It's reasonably level. It's high-ish in places. There's a wee bit of...
Anyways, back to the news. Clavicular life is falling apart. Parents hate him. No friends. No. Oh, shit.
I'm not a huge longevity guy.
Clav's a big fan of the show. I don't know if you guys know this, but he used to call in. He used to call in once or twice a night and help me with my fat dissolving peptides
in a very short time frame. So I was mathemaxing to lean out as much as possible in a short duration of time. Are you not scared you're gonna get addicted? No, I have a lot of self-control and willpower, right? Holy me.
This is clavicular. He's now assembled a team of looks-maxers that all do this. They're multiplying. I don't think it's really ascending. I think it's more of a slow descent into isolation and cognitive decline. These guys think if Charlie Kirk was more handsome, he wouldn't have been shot.
Would Charlie Kirk have gotten assassinated if he were...
It's a joke, right? To like, to die young and leave like a beautiful corpse or whatever. But it's almost their mentality. Like their only goal is ascending. No one can tell you what ascension is. Like how far do you, like if you're a millionaire, do you become a multimillionaire? Do you become a billionaire? Do you become the richest man in the world? They just want to be beautiful, wealthy. And then they talk about the return on investment. Like Clav says that no matter how much he liked a girl, he would never just take a girl out on a date. And he uses the example of bowling. He would stream that 100%, no matter how much he liked the girl, because of his return on investment. Like, how is he going to get a return on that? And Andrew from Channel 5 News is like, well, you know, what about just hanging out and making a connection with a female? And he's like, what are you talking about? I just stream it. That'll be the return on investment because people are watching. I'll get ad revenue. You know, I might find a new girl, a hotter girl. I might make more money. But there's no way I would just hang out with somebody and not stream it.
Chad? Well, probably not, and here's why. Good-looking people experience something called the halo effect, so it's quite possible that if Charlie were to be better-looking, someone wouldn't have hated him enough to assassinate him. This might be an insensitive video to make, but I'm really trying to bring awareness to how...
So Charlie Kirk, if he would have looked better, if he'd have looks-maxed his gum line, he might not have been assassinated.
Brutal the black pill is.
So that means you better start punching your face so it swells up.
And Clav claims that he's not like red pilled. He just, those people accept him, I guess, so he hangs out with Nick Fuentes and Sneeko and all the fucking rapists and Nazis and shit.
When your cheekbones look more pronounced.
Bone smashing is one of my all-time favorites. How does that work? Just lay down in your bed?
I'm fine with being ugly and wealthy. That's right.
Brace your head, because...
Thank you for the donation.
This may seem like a meme. It's not. His entire crew...
I'm ugly and poor, but I'm getting there. Someday, maybe.
I genuinely do think bone smashing is the most untapped part of look smashing.
Clavicular's talking about how when he was growing up, his mom needed to hide the hammers in the house from him.
Bone smashing's legit, you know?
It sounds... So you don't take a hammer and go like this?
I used to do it with a hammer, but my mom used to always take away my hammer. Come into my bathroom and they like look through all the drawers and like they take the hammers out. Like all the hammers.
Look through all the what?
You don't take a hammer and go like this?
I used to do it with a hammer, but my mom used to always take away my hammer. Come into my bathroom and they like look through all the drawers and like they take the hammer.
The draws? Do people say it like that? Am I saying it wrong? Drawers? Look through all the drawers?
It sounds... So you don't take a hammer and go like this?
I used to do it with a hammer, but my mom used to always take away my hammer. Come into my bathroom and they like look through all the drawers and like they take the hammers out. Like all the hammers
draws
in the house would be hidden.
Parents think about everything that you sort of become.
They hate it.
At 17 years old, he was getting filler around his nose to fix what he called piggy nose syndrome, and he was taking out student loans to do it.
You can actually get...
He is from New Jersey. Nothing good comes from New Jersey. We've established that.
College loans and use it for surgery. So this is a method.
So you can get college loans, like if you go through the enrollment process and then just never show up for class. And he's saying, hey, you should secure those loans, say fuck off school. When they find out, you're going to have to repay the loans quicker than you would if you went to school. But you still got the loan, right? Same as dropping out. You still got the fucking loan or failing out. You just have to pay. They might even change. There's some loans that the interest rate will go up, like if you're no longer using it for school or whatever. But he's suggesting that people should take out loans to go to school for plastic surgery.
I've been telling people, yeah, you can literally do that.
When he's driving around in the car, he takes off his pants and wraps a shopping bag around his dick to try and make it longer.
Another thing that I'll do called shopping bag hanging. What you're doing is you're taking a bag, you're filling with items, like, you know, put some weights in there. I'd usually put like 5-10 pounds of weights, and then you're just going to hold on your shaft after you wrap the bag around your wrist. And I would usually do that while I was driving.
It's crazy he does this because his dick doesn't even...
While he's driving, bro. He's trying to stretch his dick while he's... When I first started seeing Clav, and I thought it was like a joke. But it's not.
Work. He's on so many steroids and stimulants that he's given himself erectile dysfunction at 19 years old. So he has to make up excuses for why he can't have sex.
But the problem with all this is I have severe erectile
and stimulants that he's given himself erectile dysfunction at 19 years old. So he has to make...
We made out and she kept going for my dick. If I didn't have Cialis though, and I have severe ED, so I made up a bluff that I didn't want to have sex the first time we met.
up excuses for why you can't have sex.
But the problem with all this is I have severe erectile dysfunction.
All of these guys are selling courses.
Drawers, yeah, drawers. Your drawers are underwear here where I'm from.
The scams. They're talking about how to preserve your hair.
What's possible when you actually understand the mechanisms? Well, you walk into a room and people notice you instantly. Skin is perfectly clear and glowing. Hair is healthy.
Yeah, my kids make fun of it. Like they're younger than this group, so they'll say stuff like looks maxing or mewing or yeah, I'm working on my aura, but as a joke.
You wear a wig.
I give you comprehensive risk mitigation protocols, blood work recommendations, hair protection strategies.
This guy is bald. He's a 24-year-old that had to get a hair transplant.
So this is the guy that they snatched his hat off of, and we showed that video, and he ended up being bald as fuck. Androgen or whatever, he wears a wig underneath his hat. Anyways. Yeah, my kids make fun of it, which I think's funny.
Transplant. Clearly, he's selling garbage.
And what I realize is that most people teaching this stuff are either scamming you.
Dude, I think these guys are trying to scam you. Molecular also sells a course, and he claims what makes him different than other looks maxing coaches is that he'll tell you to do steroids and meth.
My name is Braden Peters.
Yeah, he literally says, he's like, I won't hold back. While other people are telling you like, oh, just do these facial exercises. I'll tell you like inject shit and get peptides and fat dissolvers and do meth, meth maxing, they call it. They think they're smarter than addiction and overdose and shit because they take their meth that you can never tell the potency of, right? Because you're buying it from the street. Can't tell if it's got fentanyl or whatever it's laced with. They take it and put it on a scale and do a certain amounts.
Also known as clavicular, and I've spent years mastering the science of male aesthetics.
You're 19 years old. You haven't spent years doing anything.
I've taken on guys who are skinny.
You've taken on guys?
Low dimorphism and completely overlooked by women and turned them into jacked, high-value men who command respect the second they walk into a room.
He doesn't show a single example of these successful students of his because none exist.
Here's what makes my system different. I'm not afraid to go where others won't. While every other looks maxing coach is telling you to drink more water and do facial exercises, I'm willing to push you to do the methods that actually work. Steroids, pharmacology, extreme protocols.
Meth. When his crew isn't doing meth, they're reminiscing about how...
I like the idea of that lift that I showed you guys too. I'm pretty sure I could fab up a wheel chock or a wheel stop, a wheel clamp, and use one up. They're linked together, but you could roll a motorcycle up on that bitch, lock down the front wheel, and work on it too. That's cool.
How good they looked on it.
I'm not fat now, but I am bloated for sure in comparison because of how lean I was on meth. Hey, look at my side goes, bro.
How lean I was on meth.
Bro, there's actual fuel. Look at this. Bro, where's the meth addy? This is actually so brutal to look at.
Nice things around that one, dog.
Yeah, we covered him overdosing.
This actually pisses me off, bro.
In fact, Clavicular can't even really articulate what the point of looks maxing is besides ascending. In his course, he says it's about getting girls.
You're tired of being invisible to women, tired of getting rejected, and tired of watching other guys who won the genetic
But then they don't pay attention to girls. You know what I mean? Like, they say like, oh, this is all because people treat you different when you're pretty, but they don't pay attention to girls. They act like they don't have time for girls, that would hurt their business and their industry and their streaming, and his dick don't even work. What the fuck's he gonna do with them?
Take what's yours, then pay attention.
Doesn't this sound kind of rapey? But his wiener doesn't work due to all the drugs he takes, so that seems pointless.
ED at 21 years old is insanity. Permanent ED. Dude, it's genuinely done for me. Yeah, it's done for me, bro. It is so sad, though. That I can't... Dude, it's the worst. And I have pretty serious ED already.
For real?
Yeah.
That's right.
I do a lot of shit. Like when I'm on bars or like I'll take something called pre-cab.
Okay.
So, throw a condom on there. It's not happening.
Adam's 42 and he doesn't have this problem. Clavicular has since come out and said that dating and going after girls...
It's like Nick Fuentes keeps accidentally opening up his search history, and it's all about fucking cat boys and gay bondage and shit.
It's a waste of time.
It's a mega waste of time. Just talking to girls, going out on dates and stuff like that. Yeah.
He's admitted on stream that the only reason girls hang out with him is to promote their OnlyFans and social media accounts.
It's unlikely that they would want to be around me if it wasn't for the fucking viewership I had. God forbid I asked them to hang out off stream. Oh, dude, like not a chance.
This has me a bit confused on what ascending even means. Is it so people are nicer to you so you can make more friends? But then he says friends and community are a waste.
He says that being pretty helps you with everything. Like you're more likely to get this job or promotion or a loan at the bank or someone to offer you this or that, and of course women, but again, dick doesn't work.
It's the time.
I was posting on online forums, so I was sort of like a well-known name in a really small, tight-knit community, and then I kind of took it a little bit more serious because people were asking me like, how do you do this? So it's really just about that. I think people are scared to make...
The rise of the incel is fucking crazy, dude.
Friends now too. Screen time's at an all-time high. People aren't really going out. Community's kind of in collapse. Less people have real friends. I don't know the relevance of that. What do you mean? What's the relevance of that?
Is he asking what's the relevance of having friends?
Like, what you were just talking about. Not at all. Wanting to ascend and finding your place in the world. SMV. I was just talking about pharmacology. Oh yeah, but I'm kind of getting into your goal is to help people ascend, right? Yeah, but I mean, like, what's the value there? I mean, engaging with people in real life. Yeah, I mean, there's really not that many people that are worth interacting with, I would say.
Oh my God, he's even weirder than I thought. This is what I mean when these guys talk about ascending. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a buzzword. Is it about improving your health? No, because they're doing meth. Is it about building relationships? No, because that's apparently a waste of time. Well, then it must be for sex. Nope, because there's no value there.
Most people are extremely jester. Like, they're funny, or like they're just have completely misprioritize lives.
Brother, you take your pants off while you're driving. You tie a shopping bag around your cock. You're not just a jester. You're a clown. You're a circus freak. Those people go to the bars with their friends to make good memories and laugh. Not clavicular. He says that's loser behavior.
I would say the average person that you meet who's like an enjoyer of sports, who drinks beer, for example, you know, let's go have a beer at the pub and watch Sunday football. Like, that's the worst thing that you could do. Like, you should be on PubMed reading various different studies on how you could looksmax.
You don't think there's any value in like social interactions with people?
I wouldn't say people in general.
Yeah, instead you should spend time on looksmaxing for him. Like, dude, this is why you have no social skills and you have to drink alcohol to even talk to a girl. He frames it as if he's so smart for figuring this out.
People will just drink alcohol for no reason at all. It seems like, let's go have a drink, when if you were actually smart.
He only uses it to loosen up, to talk to girls. Clavicular has built his body to be one night standed by a pudgy fat electrical engineer like me, and I'm not the bottom. Bringing that power to the top. Thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it.
You would realize the purpose.
My loan officer is going to love you, grassroots.
Of alcohol is to lower your inhibitions, to talk to girls. So that's the only time in which it makes sense to leverage such a toxic drug like ethanol.
I'm going to tell him you claim me on your taxes.
These girls do OnlyFans. They want to be on his stream and come off as likable. All he has to do is act normal. Can't manage it.
Dude, let's go.
He starts complaining because the girls aren't into him.
Bro, I mean, it's like legit brutal. Like, you think like these girls, like, I'm like millionaire max, like status max. I'm millionaire and status max and like reasonably looks max, and you're still looking for a dog.
He's unironically molding about a dog. Another time he's hosting a party at his house. These are all people he invited, and he says he has to shoot up Trent.
You're not likable, bro.
Raise his sex drive.
I'm gonna go take some Trent real quick because I want to raise my libido. And it also makes me look kind of low in hip, you know? Yeah, all right, so see you guys later. Nice to meet you. Oh, dude, I'm so bad at talking to people. Oh, God, I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah, because my social skills are quite dog shit. So sometimes it's just like, I kind of need to, unfortunately, drug max to be able to fit into like the neurotypical world, I would say.
Brother, you need to get off the forum and talk to people. He meets a girl, she's ethnically Syrian, but she clearly grew up in America. His opening line is, what do you think about the civil war over there?
So what country are you from?
What country?
Like your ethnicity?
Oh, I'm Cape Verdean and Syrian.
What do you think about like the civil war in Syria?
I don't really like look into it.
Like ISIS and all that? Like Assad?
No, I don't really know anything about that.
Bro, she doesn't care. Move on to a different subject.
Well, which side like did you like root for in the war? Like Assad or like you know, the freedom fighters? Oh,
freedom fighters. Obviously.
Clearly, she's not interested in this topic, bro.
Oh, really?
Oh, that is true. Only one cock to choose from.
The right answer, no. I don't know, like, right?
Well, I mean, there's also ISIS, so you could root for them.
No, I don't think I root for them.
No?
Do you?
No, I don't, honestly. Yeah, dude, oh God, I'm so...
He's holding a fork.
Sorry, no, I'm not up. I'm just...
She thinks he's hammered here. He's not.
I don't think so. I don't think he's good with anybody, right? He was, I think we'll look back on history, and I'm not saying that we didn't need to do it, but I think a lot of, there'll be a partial generation that was really affected by COVID and online schooling and doing everything remotely through Zoom, and it fucked up some of their social skills, but he's even worse than most people. Like, he has no fucking social skills, dude. He was just complaining. He's like, I'm a millionaire. I've ascended. I've got all these followers, and this girl's on her phone looking at puppies. Like, wow. Way to talk to a girl, man.
He's dead sober. This is just how he is. Even when it comes to Braden's other looksmaxing friends, I put that in huge quotes because I don't think any of them like him. He's trying to sign them to contracts where he takes 30% of their revenue for the next 5 years.
Managers shall have the right to extend this agreement to up to 2 years. So 3-year contract, possibility of extending it for another 2. Sounds like a way to get fucking ass, doesn't it, bro? Such a fucking shit contract.
Second, I get to Miami. This motherfucker to come up to me. You gotta sign a contract, buddy. You wanna be on my screen? You gotta sign a contract.
The ones that signed with him love dressing up as Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh my God, this is actually fun.
He's taking 30% of their revenue for up to 5 years.
Epstein.
What? He puts on Epstein merch. He's got to fix his hair. Got to turn on anime music. All these people he's partying. And
so I understand the Epstein thing. That's like a big joke. Liam's class got in trouble the other day for they were all pretending, making up characters that happen to be pedophile billionaires that own islands.
Streaming with, you think they'd all be friends making money together. Nope, he's making them sign NDAs.
She already signed the blonde and just the one with the hat.
It's just different to them, right? They've just heard about Epstein their whole life, and they're not thinking about the kids and the pain and the suffering and the women and the victims and blah, blah, blah. To them, it's a big joke.
He's like, what is the big deal with that?
When you look at the weird forums Clavicular grew up on, they're all about improving your social...
They just don't understand. The same way that 9/11's not a joke to me, but there's like a group of people like 10 years younger than me that it has no meaning whatsoever to them, and so they make jokes about 9/11 all the time.
life. Well, let's destroy it. He doesn't get the point of a date unless it's on camera for content.
Unless I was streaming, I would never bring any girl here.
Alone? Like
as cameras? Yeah, I never
Why
do that.
not? Wow.
Or to dinner, or like anything.
You would never take a girl to dinner?
No.
So do you want to get married?
Well, like, I would never do it off stream, if that makes sense.
So you don't want like an actual connection with someone?
Well, why can't I stream it?
Dude's gonna stream his wedding just like how he streams his domestic abuse, where he holds one girl while the other one punches her in the face.
I'm not gonna. You want me to? I'm not gonna.
That was the weird assault thing that happened.
So again, I ask, where is the ascension? Braden talks about how people who look more handsome make more money.
The main thing you feel like the mainstream media gets wrong about you that you really feel like needs to.
Or my dad said when he was young, they watched the space shuttle explode or whatever, and that was their. I mean, even it's not just like it's not just like these young whippersnappers don't have respect for anything. Their big thing was making jokes about this space shuttle explosion. One of the jokes he said they would say in elementary school was they had one of the astronauts' names. I can't remember. It was like one of the female school teacher or whatever. They'd be like, "Do you know what color her eyes were?" And they'd say, "No, why?" And they'd say blue because one blew this way and one blew that way. But to them, it was nothing, while other people were watching it live on TV and fucking crying and shit. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just a weird thing about stuff that happens when you're a kid.
Is from a place of insecurity. That is true for a lot of people, but that's not universal. Like, you could just encounter all of these different studies that I'm referencing from like online dating apps or, you know, stuff with looks correlating to higher average incomes and decide, oh, it makes sense for me to dedicate my time to looks maxing because you calculate the ROI.
The most recent study on this topic shows that the ugliest people make the most money. Ugly maxers rise up. There's actually a dude who does this. The internet is so dumb. Any study of this kind,
that guy, oh my God. That guy's so cool. He only works out half of his body. Oh, wait, I've seen this guy.
Maxers rise up. There's actually a dude who does this.
Day 158 of working out one trap. There's another guy that, not just his trap, but he does like his arm and facial muscles all on one side. His arm, his leg, his facial muscles, everything. His forearms. And like one side is so much bigger than the other fucking, it's wild looking. And the other side, he just leaves it like he can't even fucking move it. Like sometimes he'll even have it in a sling. Look at this fucking one trap god. Bro.
The internet is so dumb. Any study of this kind ultimately concludes that looks play a relatively small factor when compared to advancing your education or having specialized skills. Andrew Callahan is 50 minutes into this interview trying to figure out what ascending means according to clavicular.
Just to get clicks, man.
Clavicular can't even define it.
I'm just confused because it's like, on one hand, you're saying you want to like help men improve their aesthetics and succeed in life so that they don't feel so lonely and they're not so.
I think you can find, there's like, I don't think you have to be, like I make fun of short people, right? Me and Liam make fun of short people and make jokes about Mariah and shit. But there's somebody for everybody. I personally believe that. Like you can find somebody that's into the things. I think a lot of times, I don't know if it's like porn or the internet or whatever. I think a lot of these really angry guys expect to have like a fucking runway model, and anybody else that's got like a little bit of weight or acne or something like they immediately dismiss these people that they probably have a real connection with, solely based on looks right out the gate. I think you'd have a better chance if you're shorter, probably looking for someone your height or close to your height. You're probably not going to date a fucking 6'4" WNBA player. Not because she's famous. The WNBA is, but because she's tall.
Hateful and they can go out and succeed. And you also say that like going out and dating and stuff's a waste of time and that you should prioritize looks maxing and aesthetic improvement. So I'm just trying to figure out like what the real goal is for improvement, because it kind of feels like a closed circle, you know?
Well, so you're maxing, and then, you know, you're putting into play any of the things we were talking about, like, you know, low income maxing with pre-gab, for example, and going out and doing stuff like that.
This man really said the point of looks maxing is to looks max. His relationships and his life suck, and it's revealed it's because he was getting hooked on looks maxing forums and Discord servers when he was in high school.
Social experience in school though, how was that?
Well, that would have been during the pandemic. So I was in online school.
How do you think that being in online school like, you know, transformed your experience during that time?
Well, obviously you're not interacting.
Maybe. My son's kind of obsessed with fact finding though.
With anyone.
He may not have gotten sick, but COVID killed.
I've got a 14-year-old. My 10-year-old is still very much in the phase of where everything's like space and stuff super interesting to him, and he wants to find out facts and tell me. But Liam, my 14-year-old, he will see something on the internet and like research the fuck out of it to figure out if it's true or not.
This man.
Was that the time window that you sort of fell into the looks maxing community?
Yeah, like Discord maxing was probably one of the better things to do, because you could actually find like people who have the same interests as you, and you're never going to encounter people with the same niche interests like looks maxing like you will on internet forums.
Did you ever actually meet up with any people from the forums in real life?
Yeah, actually 2 people in this house.
Before the internet, if you were into some sort of weird hobby, people could kind of shame it out of you. Now you can just go online and join a freak show.
We were literally microdosing meth.
Like pedal pumpers. I pedal max.
3 months. So, but then we quit.
Microdosing.
Yeah,
I would check out that podcast though.
I don't know. I feel, it just takes one bad day.
I'm telling you, if you take like 5 milligrams of meth orally, that'll do way less for you than one Adderall pill. And so when you
5 foot 10 and a half's good. Yeah. I think I think the people that would really have trouble are like 5'5" and below or something. Like I don't know. Anything remotely close to 6 foot is a reasonably tall person. Maybe definitely below 5 foot. You're like, oh well.
when you factor it in like that, it's like, what are you really scared of? The dose is obviously the poison.
And they can't even really articulate why they're doing it. It's not for girls. It's not for money. They're not even doing it for themselves. For me, it just seems like they're doing it for other men's approval.
Been 4 hours now, and Tom Cruise still will not come out of the closet.
Looks Maxers rate people on what they call the
I'm not, obviously that's an anecdote. It's just my son. But like, I do see, like when people are talking about trends, I see a lot of the trends in him, like the Epstein jokes. Like his whole class got reprimanded the other day for making a bunch of billionaire pedophile jokes.
SL scale. When Clavicular talks about doing jaw surgery and going up in points, this is the scale he's referring to.
Extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures. I am getting a double jaw surgery.
It's an acronym for 3 forms dedicated to looks. P stands for pickup artist hate, the S stands for slut hate, the L stands for lookism.net. The scale goes from 0 to 8 because nobody can be a 9 or 10.
Slut hate was an incel sign.
We're going to take all these measurements and calculate them into a final percentage harmony score.
I looked at the scale and I'm not going to lie, it kind of confuses me.
My dad was only 5'6" or something. I ended up being 6 foot tall. I was tall, way taller than my dad.
Got a 0, and that's somebody with deformities. Then you have a 1. That's me, obviously.
They were doing some type of exercise where they had to make characters up, almost like improv or something, in one of his classes, and everybody kept making their character a billionaire pedophile without saying the word pedophile. Like it was just like this billionaire who owned an island and a jet, and they would be trying to gather up children all the time, so they got in trouble.
Next you have a 2, which is Aziz Ansari, who I think he's a pretty good looking guy. Then they have Mr. Beast as a 3. They also have Adam Driver as an example of someone who's below average looking at a 3. Well, these people are harsh critics. They have high standards, clearly. So who's a 4? Well, it's the school shooter, Elliot Rodger. So a bunch of incels came and put their minds together to try and get laid. They built this template. They put a guy who shot up a school because he couldn't get laid at a 4. They think he's the average person. Adam Driver, Mr. Beast, Aziz, they've all gotten laid. How are they not above him by default? A 5 is Taylor Lautner, who was every girl's Hollywood crush at one point. We think he'd be higher because of it. A 6 is just some buff dude. So you'd think the next highest rank would be an even buffer guy. No, it's a twink. This looks like a 15-year-old. They have an extremely feminine looking man is the 2nd highest rated.
It's some type of ratio that they do with like your cheekbones and your shape and your nose ratio and your brow ridge and your hair and your chin shape. There's just a bunch of shit.
You have an 8, which it says none exists. There's only 1 in a few billion of these people. This is the only example they give for a girl, and it's like, is she really 1 in a few billion levels of pretty? I'm hearing Brandon talk about how he thinks sex isn't supposed to be enjoyable, and I'm like, does he mean that in a reproductive way, or is he just closeted?
Because that's not what sex is intended for, right? That's, yeah, like it's enjoyable to have sex with women, but that's not the intention behind it, and that was never meant.
Dude, my dad would get really, really tan. He worked construction, drove a dump truck most of his life, then become a dump truck foreman, whatever. So he'd get really, really tan. He had really, really dark hair like me, but all he had was his only facial hair since I've known him. There's pictures of him with a beard and shit. We look a lot alike. But since my memory of him, he only had a real heavy, like caterpillar fucking mustache. And we always used to make jokes, me and my sister, about ice picking him up. And even he looks so Mexican. He's not Mexican, but he looks so Mexican. His handle on the CB radio where he worked was Julio. That's what they called him, right? And now, if he was still alive in this reality, I almost guarantee he would be stopped by us.
This is like a very new thing in the context of history.
That's not even true. Prostitution is the oldest business model in history. Greeks, Romans, kings, and even some popes are documented partaking in casual sex. It got me thinking, maybe he doesn't have erectile dysfunction at all. Maybe he's just into dudes. He's always rating them.
It's like a very objective thing. This is not really based on like an opinion of mine. Would be Matt Balmer scores the highest. I think
Isn't this a little gay?
I could see how it would appear that way at first glance, but it's all based on mathematics.
Guys, it's not gay. It's math. It's queeronometry. Matan asks the same question. Clavicular starts to realize, yeah, it's pretty gay.
Like a attractive.
Who do you think is the most attractive man?
So I'm going to tell this story anonymously, or try to. Me and Mariah know someone who called Mariah, and call it weird, but I don't like anyone who wants to take an angle grinder to my face. Yeah. Well, or at least a hammer. There was thank you for the donation. There's a person that me and Mariah know, and this person was married. And this person called Mariah and was like freaking out because they found out that their husband had been watching porn. And Mariah's like, chill out. You know, everybody watches porn at some point. Guys watch porn, especially whatever, it's, as long as it doesn't become a problem, like they're fucking addicted to porn and that's all they want. They don't want to fuck because they're watching so much porn, blah, blah, blah. Like porn happens. and they were having this conversation, talking about porn or whatever. And Mariah's trying to tell her, like, it's not that big a deal unless it's an issue, right? You can be addicted to anything, including porn, unless it's an issue. And then they start bringing up categories of porn. And her husband exclusively was looking up, he was searching shit like monster cock, 18-inch cock too big, biggest cock, gigantic monster dong. Like, and I was laughing so hard I couldn't breathe, okay? When she was talking about his Pornhub history that she found. I was laughing so hard I couldn't fucking breathe. And then Mariah asked and was like, well, maybe he just wants to feel like he's represented. Does he have like a giant dick? And the person is like, no, absolutely not. He has probably a below average dick. And I don't know if it was like a punishment or almost like a cuck thing. Imagine having like a fucking tiny dick and you just want to watch somebody with a giant dick like fucking plow women while you feel ashamed and beat your dick. I don't know. Very weird. All he was into was the biggest dicks that he could Google search. 18-inch monster cock dominates. They're just like fucking crazy shit.
In the world. Well, I would say that's the most mog person. Yeah, when you phrase it like that, it does sound a little bit homosexual. But when you just say
like the jokes Liam makes are about like the Clav getting fucking frame mugged by ASU, blah blah blah, and how that's the greatest battle, that's the greatest war story ever told, and Clav was fucking wounded in action. He should be treated like a hero for getting frame mugged by ASU frat team house leader or whatever, like stupid shit like that.
Hardest, I would say probably like a Tyler Mayer.
This is homosexual on your end, no?
Not necessarily, no.
Not necessarily, but yet sounds like he's leaving it open as a possibility.
I didn't say anything about homosexual. This is objective, right?
Well, in the way that I'm phrasing it, but just how you're asking the question is homosexual.
Okay, fine. Can you give me the top 5 men that you're most attracted to?
Okay, there we go.
He's unironically getting mad at Matan. He starts preaching at him.
You're really doubling down on that. So like I said, it's all mathematics. Like people can sit here and cope. A lot of normies do. Especially a lot of women have been throwing that, name calling around. Oh, you're a homosexual.
Dude, he's admitting that women think he's gay. And because Braden is socially stunted by COVID, he's unable to tell that Matan's trolling him.
It's the same thing when you start talking about aesthetics, which is all based upon mathematics. It's like,
yeah, when you get older, it's a lot easier to bulk and a lot harder to slim it down.
You just throw around homosexual because they don't fall within.
You're saying that mathematically there's going to be some guys that you're more attracted to than women because the woman is ugly and there can be a man that scores so high in the rating that you're going to be more attracted to him than a very unattractive woman.
True. That would be a 7 on the PSL scale.
That would be how it would work if I was a homosexual, but
I don't understand the difference. You're saying that there's some women
homosexual and not
between you and a homosexual.
Well, because we're not talking about sex.
Between you and a homosexual, I don't understand. So you're saying that there's a guy with a certain number that is so much more attractive to you than a girl with a lower number?
Sexuality, we're talking about objective numbers.
We're talking about who I'm objectively turned on by. Braden, he's trolling you. He's got a guy sitting on the floor mewing, mocking one of your looks maxing techniques. You could laugh, man. You don't have to unironically argue with him.
I'm saying that somebody is so objectively attractive.
Look at him sitting on the floor mewing.
Even if they're a man, that you'll like them.
It's not necessarily attractive. It's more harmonious. Is probably.
But you are attracted to them.
No.
But they're so harmonious, no?
Harmonious. Forming a pleasing or consistent whole. You see, Braden's just really pleased by these men's faces. He starts getting really passive aggressive.
No, so do you want to just tell me what I am for the rest of the podcast? You want to tell me that I'm attracted to someone?
I was just gathering from the hints you were giving. It's like that's what it just seemed like. If you're denying it, then that's fine.
Well, no. So I mean, like this is a very basic thing conceptually. I don't know if you're trying to like troll or anything, but
no. Oh my God, he's an idiot. How is this real?
I would say that I am.
I don't rate any man's attractiveness. Like I guess if you showed me 2 men, I could be like, oh well, that one's probably more attractive to a female. Or like when someone like divorces or separates and then gets with a new person, me and Mariah talk about, have they upgraded or downgraded? But a lot of that to me has to do with like job support, shit like that, not their facial bone structure.
Definitely on the spectrum.
No.
I've never been, professionally diagnosed with autism, but, just personal diagnosis. I know that's kind of ridiculous. I would speculate that I'm on the spectrum. And I used to think that was a really bad thing, but now
you might be the spectrum, bro, that everybody else is measured by.
Thinking that it's like actually a superpower.
You've convinced me it's not.
Trying to be like genuine and like give you an understanding of like looks max and aesthetic.
I don't know that he changed his looks as much with like hammers and peptides and testosterone and HGH and all the other shit he did as much as he just went through like an ugly duckling phase. I mean, I've seen the pictures of him, right? He did, like everybody goes through a phase where like nothing looks good.
What up?
Oh shit! I fucked up. Hold on, that was my bad. I clicked off the video like an idiot.
With autism, but you know, just personal diagnosis. I know that's kind of ridiculous. I would speculate that I'm on the spectrum, and I used to think that was a really bad thing, but now I'm thinking that it's like actually a superpower.
You've convinced me it's not.
I'm trying to be like genuine and like give you an understanding of like looks max and aesthetics. But like if you want to have like middle school level understandings.
Braden, look around you. What show do you think you're on?
Might be misunderstanding. I don't know.
Well, I love to, you know, f around and be, but I didn't know if we were doing like a formal thing. Like if you want me to just like sit here and be all like,
no, do whatever is most natural for you.
Mataj's just killing him. And Braden's completely unaware. If I could be serious for a second, I get looks maxing in the sense that you should shower, dress nice, watch your weight, but he's hitting your face with a hammer, really bringing you to the next level. Mataj asks this.
I mean, is there really actually any women in the world who are to be taken seriously who would only date somebody because their face looks like 3% better because they smashed it until they had a bunch of microfractures?
Your face either looks good or it looks bad. How you got there is not going to be evidence.
Yeah, but it's going to be like the final thing. Like, let's say somebody's genetics can get them to a 7 out of 10. This is going to get them to what, like a 7.05?
Well, how much it can ascend you is going to be, you know, case dependent.
He's trying to make it sound smart.
The most changes you can make are while you're young. It's usually frowned upon then, obviously, but when you're going through puberty, your growth plates aren't completely set. You can do a lot to change your height and different things. But then that gets into like, we've all seen the stories that used to go around about like fucking dads getting their kids on fucking tests and have them in the weight room and shit and trying to make an athlete or a bodybuilder or a karate champion or whatever out of them.
Smart, but it's not. Chewing on glue sticks makes about as much sense.
But your whole thing is based off getting women.
Well, what you said about them being a waste of time, and that's not my whole thing, right? I just want to mog people. I don't give a fuck about
You don't even
women.
care about picking up women. You just want to look better than other dudes.
A winter coat in July is less closeted than this man. I watched over 6 hours of clavicular interviews, and only in this one does he give a direct answer for why he's in
A winter coat in July is less closeted than Clav.
looks maxing.
What I'm trying to get out of these like extreme looks maxing protocols is, you know, to basically mog people. That's like my main goal.
It's to look better than other men. I'm just convinced this guy's really into getting his makeup done. He's doing runway walks.
People say that what I do is the opposite of like transgenders.
Nobody's ever said that.
It's like they're like male to female. And
No, I mean, it's gender affirming care what you're doing, right? The test and to look more what we accept as manly, right? I don't even think like, you know, back in the day, like being fucking fat was a sign of wealth. You know what I mean? Like the roles and the things that we assign to people as being manly or feminine or girly or boyish or whatever change with time, slowly, most of the time. And it's different across different cultures, but you're definitely doing gender affirming care.
I'd be doing like male to male.
Bro, we know you're doing male to male.
Well, that's called tracking.
These guys are so close to being friends.
Bro, we know you're doing male to male.
Fake muscles, wearing wigs, makeup.
Are you wearing makeup right now? Yeah. Mascara, eyeliner, a little bit, concealer, a little bit contour.
He stuffs socks in his shoes to look a little bit taller.
They're gonna compress, so.
Holy shit, I'm way taller.
Yeah, you guys see what I mean? I would do literally like, I would take Timberland boots and I'd fill it to the brim and I'd make myself 6 inches taller. Like every single day.
Not trolling. Just wear high heels at this point.
Are you wearing lifts right now? Yep. Can you pull them out and show me? Here we go.
He does his eyelashes before going out to dinner.
What you just do? Concealer, eyelash curler, because my eyelashes curled really downwards, which is bad. And then just a little bit of eyeliner.
He talks about taking HRT to help him through puberty.
You have the most control over your body while all those growth pathways are still open, right? So your growth plates remain unfused. So you can really do a lot with something like an aromatase inhibitor to prevent this process.
This is medicine for women who have breast cancer.
So we're blocking our...
He freaks out on, what's Andrew from Channel 5 News or whatever. Because he asked Andrew, he's like, well, you haven't asked me any question about this, this, or this. And he's like, I'm just trying to, you know, what do you want to talk about? And he's like, what about hair growth? He's like, well, tell me, what about hair growth? He's like, no, man, you don't, like, are you genuinely saying that you wake up in the morning and you're 100% happy with the way you look in the mirror? And Andrew's like, yeah, basically. And he's like, well, if you're going to be disingenuous, we're done. This interview's over.
Testosterone from converting into estradiol.
You think he gets his supply from Keffels? He has trans people coming up to him and talking about how they're the original looks maxers. His cameraman is gooning about these scantily dressed women.
Man, this is free. Ready? Go, show the booters, 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 show the booters. That's for the booters right there. Oh my god.
They end up being trans.
Why am I moving you right now? What? I'm drag queen maxing.
You're what? That's what?
Drag queen maxing right now. Cheers.
You're trans?
Drag queen maxing you?
Can you tell? You can tell I'm mobbing.
I just looked at your ass.
I think Clavicular's jealous.
So that trans women are like the OG look maxers, right? You're making it. Like I do the peptides. I'm on Greta. You're like copying us. No shade.
No, look, that's what has been around on...
Well, I mean,
Dude, his PSL scale is destroyed.
Well, the way that I see is like, that's one more person to mug once they brutally butcher themselves transitioning. Yeah, I'm going to send, and this person is going to be a comical botch job.
I just looked at your ass.
You just looked at my ass?
Okay. All you guys are trans? All you guys are trans?
We're all TIs.
All of you? All of you guys are trans.
Wow.
Can you tell?
How did you find your...
Because we're like just like bad pictures.
I think you're trolling me.
No, I swear to God.
Mogged to death by a trans...
Showed the Adam's apple, mogged the fuck out of him.
Jester.
Gay fish, yo. Motherfucking gay fish, yo.
Clavicular will always talk about how romance and family are pointless.
Say you were to do like a bull.
He's really falling out with it. His dad called him. That was the saddest call, dude. And then at the end, his dad's like, well, happy Easter, knowing that Clav's not coming home. He streams 24/7 all the time. There's always a stream going on in his house that he lives with these other dudes in. Girls aren't interested in him. His dad was just asking him to go to sleep, and he was talking shit about his dad. His dad's like, you shouldn't be staying up for like 40, 50 hours, dude. Like, you're not even making sense. Just go to bed. It's bad for your health. Just go to bed. And he's like, it's about the money. It's about the streams. It's about the views, whatever.
Bowling date with a girl and you weren't streaming it?
Seems like his dad cares about him.
That's just the most ridiculous.
Well, what about like connecting with her because like you like her or something like that? You know, like maybe you want to start a family.
Well, where's the ROI in that?
He's asking for an ROI on having kids. Thank God he can't reproduce.
How do you not get girls pregnant?
Well, I'm infertile from steroids. I can't get her pregnant because of the steroids.
Of the steroid?
Yeah, so I can't.
All of his viewers should follow his lead. But he hasn't always been this way. You see, back in November, before he blew up, Clavicular had a serious girlfriend.
How's your girlfriend?
She's in school right now.
Jack talks about how relationships for him can only be content, and Clavicular asks if there's more to it than that.
Not worth having a girlfriend unless she knows what I'm doing. Because like otherwise, man, I'm just so locked in what I do. Like I'm just go. Like, I don't really have a personal life. I feel like everything I do is just online.
Yeah, it definitely can be an hindrance like if you do content, but if you don't think there's more to it than that, than just like, you know, what you get out of it in terms of content.
Clavicular then starts talking bad about Jack's OnlyFans girls.
Gotta add to the little retard crew over there.
Yo.
I could just tell. Right off the bat, yeah.
You're literally known as a meth head. So Jack starts to defend them.
Think your girlfriend's more than her?
No.
Why?
Definitely not.
Jack starts joking about how Clavicular's girlfriend is probably cheating on him right now.
I mean, I don't want to be like...
She's going to college.
You're going to college?
No, your girlfriend. No, his girlfriend's in college, bro. She's getting fucked, right? She's getting fucked. Nice. She's getting fucked. Aiden Ross is in there right now. I'm joking.
I was gonna say, you know, I know you're joking around, but you are kind of a dickhead.
But you said they were retarded, though.
I do think that
I gotta stick up for them too, you know?
You talk shit first. How are you crying when you're getting some back? Clavicular continues to roast the girls and talk about how they have no soul because they do OnlyFans, but the entire point of the stream is to go on a yacht and party with OnlyFans girls.
I don't like OnlyFans girls, but like...
All on the yacht.
Yeah, okay. I mean, like...
Oh, this is roid rage.
I just think that it's degenerate. I think you're ruining, you know, your image. Absolutely. Their souls are gone at the end of the day.
World, no, that's the thing.
You don't think your soul is gone? I would definitely disagree with you there.
Fast forward 4 months and this guy's running his own OnlyFans business, contracting his own models just like Jack Doherty. He signed some of Jack's models to his own business. He allegedly tells them that when they have to suck them off or at least pretend to on stream.
It's like, well, the method is you have to get on my stream and you have to suck my dick and you're gonna make 300K plus on OnlyFans. What type of fucking scam of hell is that?
He makes his guy friends watch him have fake sex. This is so weird.
Yo, she is stroking you fast, bro. What the f? That is insane.
These guys are all cucks. An hour passes and Clavicular is still so butthurt about Jack's joke that he asked for a private conversation off stream.
It's on shotgun.
The girls are covering for the stream as Clef cries to Jack about his joke. Jack then calls over the cameraman because he's sick of Braden whining.
Disrespect the girls, bro. It's fair game, bro. It's like you can't disrespect like the girls I'm with and then not expect.
Mad because he said something about his girlfriend. Why he called that girl? He's like, I can tell you're retarded.
The girls you're with get disrespected as well.
This is the first time I've ever seen Jack be the more mature one in a conversation.
We do social media. You can't get.
Yeah, this guy's a piece of shit too, and I can't believe he's the good guy in this scenario.
If I got pressed at you, these girls can all be pressing you right now for what you said to them. They don't take it so personally. They realize you do social media.
Do I look like I'm getting pressed? I'm just saying.
Well, you pulled me to the side. We're talking to you for like I don't even know how long.
Yeah, man, you literally needed one-on-one time to express your feelings. Braden is so butthurt over this, he just goes home.
But, I mean, if you don't gotta come on the out, bro, it's all good.
I'll look these up for you guys.
Well, yeah.
I got you. Jack's immediately making fun of him.
Yeah. That's why, if I don't take my eyes, I get moody too.
He's so offended that he's leaving, but he's not even trying to look tough while doing it. He's like shaking Jack's hand. Thank you for the opportunity, man.
I hope you guys have a good day on the yacht. It's a lot of fun. You guys got a lot of people joining you. Yeah, shaking hands. Thank you for the invite. I wish things would have went a little better.
Oh my God, he's such a snowflake. What a loser.
I don't know, he's a baby.
Clavicular will always talk about how his brand is being edgy and he's not afraid to answer any question. He doesn't care who he hangs out with.
Collaborated with like people who say like edgy things. So that's my brand. It's like I really don't care. Like I'm really not trying to be like PR or whatever.
But then he's storming off of his 60-minute interview because they asked about Andrew Tate in an incel forum he goes on.
Why do you spend time with people like that?
Are you trying to? I see you want to make this political.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm just curious.
No, that's what you want to do. Is
no.
You know you have
not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I'm not.
You want to end it and talk about.
Well, I'm just curious.
Well, you're hanging out with some clearly political figures who are also notorious for some other fucking weird things. You can say, oh, well, you know, just for views or whatever. That's an answer. But of course, people are going to ask, like, if I went on stream tomorrow and it was with Donald Trump, people would be like, "Oh, well, you hang is that like your political beliefs? Like you hung out with Donald Trump or Matt Walsh or someone?" Of course they're going to ask. Of course.
The same with those people. Obviously, people make assumptions. I'm wondering what the thought process and motivation for you is behind it.
He's asking about the biggest stream you've ever done. Why is he so sensitive?
Too bad I didn't have time to look into, anything about potentially, who your wife cheated with, but don't try to go down that line of questioning with me, all right? Because I'm not doing any political.
I'm not married.
Bold words from somebody who credited Jack for over an hour for the same sort of joke, and then storms off.
So I could teach you about looks-maxing then.
I don't want to give you advice. But one of the greatest things that you can do, obviously you're in the gym, you probably look decent, in shape, whatever. One of the greatest things you can do is just fucking talk to people. Like, a lot of people get frustrated with, or a lot of younger guys get frustrated with like having female friends and the friend zone kind of deal, blah, blah, blah. But if you can get comfortable talking to everybody, and then more specifically to females and be comfortable, dates will come, relationships will come just from that. The biggest hurdle is getting confident and carrying on a decent conversation about what they're interested in, what you're interested in, and having a back and forth.
Maybe we could switch that up. But thanks for the time. Appreciate the interview. All right.
He cries over everything. Andrew from Channel 5 does an extremely softball interview about looks-maxing. Clavicular gets offended because Andrew doesn't...
That's a big hurdle, is being comfortable talking to females. Some people have to start with like, I'm not comfortable talking to anybody I don't know, or like in a social setting or in a bar or a restaurant or whatever. But if you can talk to guys, then the next hurdle is talking to girls. And a lot of times just having a group of friends that's like 3 or 4 guys and 2 or 3, 4 girls helps with that, because you're talking to them more often because you're friends with them.
Doesn't want to looks-max himself.
I've genuinely never had a single person ask me specifics about how do these two things interact, or how does looks-maxing differ from this age to this age? Is it still possible to looks-max? Like, there's no effort really behind the questions that you guys prepare, seemingly. It just seems to be a lot of like gotcha mode, like clip farm shit. And
I'm not
like,
doing that.
Yeah, you are a little bit to a degree.
How? Did you hammer max too hard this morning? He hasn't done one gotcha.
There's not even a single. I
didn't see any gotchas.
A specific looks-max question.
Well, I'm not in the looks-maxing community. I'm trying to learn about it. Not everyone talking to you is going to be a niche person who knows about all the methods.
Yeah, I know you're not in the looks-maxing community, but you didn't even ask a looks-maxing question like at all.
Man, he doesn't want to looks-max. I don't think Braden realizes that most people are laughing at him. He thinks that Andrew works for a real news station called Channel 5.
I think we've been talking about looks-maxing this whole time.
We've been talking about like the philosophy behind it, and it's...
You want me to ask you a scientific question about looks-maxing?
I just think it's kind of funny how like that's really never been done with the amount of like media appearances.
Maybe people don't even want to be asked that. Well, now they will.
Well, that's quite literally what your companies, your
companies. You think I work for like Time Warner or something?
Your press companies. You work for Channel 5.
It's a YouTube channel called Channel 5.
Holy semantics, dude. Like, you guys specifically...
That's semantics, bro.
Reach out. We want to interview him about looks-maxing, and then you'll start asking like political questions, and I'm just like, okay, like I don't...
For sure, yeah. I mean, that's like looking good, feeling good, being happy with yourself, like, satisfied with yourself, so you feel kind of confident. But totally talking, and a group environment helps. Like, you don't want to be fucking like locked in a room one-on-one with like a female you've never talked to before. Like, that's crazy, right? Anybody would be like freaked out about that, I think. I would. But like being in a group where there's like 2 or 3 guys, including yourself, 2 or 3 girls, in an environment where you can just talk and have a conversation and learn the flow of conversation, right? A lot of people like burst into conversation to say something, or feel like there's never a right time for them to jump in a group conversation. But once you get enough practice at it, you'll know when it's your time to like can hop in and say something or make a joke or whatever, or add to a story. And there's also times where you just fucking sit and listen. But that just comes with repetition, like anything, like learning how to shoot a fucking basketball, right? You're not going to go out and just fucking be able to drain in 3-pointers, right? It's all about repetition. So having a decent group of friends that you can communicate with, that you go out and do shit in public, not on Discord, not on YouTube, not typing out a text message, but you guys go out and talk about what's going on this week. I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, this is what I'm doing at the gym, at my job, at, with my fucking dog or my car or whatever, right? It doesn't matter, whatever the interests are, and learn to have a conversation back and forth.
I don't mind it. You know what I mean? I'm not really like afraid to answer anything.
You ran off of a 60-minute interview because they asked you about...
And other girls, so like, is other girls seeing you have a friend that's a girl that you communicate with, that you listen to, that can have a conversation with, that you're not putting down or treating like you just want to fuck, that makes other girls comfortable. Not like in a weird way, like you're going to fucking like getting them comfortable so you can like chloroform them. But knowing that you have a friendship with a female and other males or whatever, and you're enjoying, you're having fun, everybody's talking, hanging out, that's also a good place to bring like a first date. Like, hey, some of my friends are going out. My friend group's going out. How about you come with us and blah, 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 and we'll all hang out. That gives you buffer because you got other people. You don't have to carry a conversation or have awkward silence, blah, blah, blah. You can introduce them to your friends, and they'll know that you have a group of friends that you communicate well with. And, like, obviously, you're not like this weird fucking loner that, like, tortures dogs in his basement. I don't know. That's what I would do. And it's harder now than it was when I was young because that's what we did. Now everything's online and everybody's online and everybody's in a rush and everything moves so fast and you got phones and Snapchat and dating apps and blah, blah, blah. It was a lot easier when I did it because that's what we did. We would all meet somewhere and hang out and shoot pool and it was a bar and you drank if you drank and ate if you wanted something to eat, but everybody just sat there in a conversation. And then eventually you'd notice like, I'm having really good conversation with this female. And then you might take it to just a solo conversation or maybe less people or a less crowded environment and fill it out from there. But the hurdle is getting comfortable in social settings where you can talk to somebody. And I could be 1,000% wrong, right? I've never in my life been on a dating app. So maybe it's all done on dating apps now. I don't know. But if I had to do it right now, I would find a group of friends that I could hang out with, move with, communicate with, and get used to that with, and move that into an environment where maybe I could meet a female.
It's not political for you to do those things. Then why is it political to ask you about them? Andrew's like, what do you want me to ask you? Clavicular's like, I don't know.
Not a single attempt at anything in regards to looks max.
Okay, what's the question I should ask?
Well, that's up to you. It's like, what am I going to tell you how to do your job?
No, you're whining for no reason.
You want me to ask you about specific scientific questions about different looks maxing methods.
Well, I mean, just...
And you're not happy with the question about the peptides or the bone smashing or anything like that.
I mean, like, can you not identify?
When I met my wife, she worked at a restaurant, and my sister worked there as well. Of course, my sister's going to be like, my biggest fan or whatever. So she had already tried to hook me up with a different girl. It did not work out. I did not like this girl. Had nothing in common with this girl. It was horrible. Hated that date. So my sister said, oh, well, there's this other girl. I don't know if you like her. She's a little bit younger than you, blah, 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 but she's really pretty. And Mariah worked at the restaurant. So I went in and ate like I normally do. Like I would go see my sister and eat and hang out at the restaurant where they all worked at. But I made sure that this girl was working that day and who she was and blah, blah, blah. And sat in her section to where she would be my waitress. And just had a very small conversation over like ordering food and, hey, how's your day going? Blah, 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 like that. Right? That worked out. And then my sister invited Mariah out and said, to a different restaurant to where she wasn't like in a work environment now. She's not my server, which was awkward or whatever. But like, hey, invited this girl to go out to eat at a Mexican restaurant and said, oh, my brother will be there. And she said, yeah, I'll go, whatever. And then it just went from there.
Like anything that you have a curiosity about, like maybe, you wake up with dark circles.
Yeah. You might think in your head that like, I like this group or I want this person or that person or blonde or blue eyes or somebody into this until you get actual experience. And maybe you want somebody that's into something you've never done, but it sounds interesting or you do it for the first time and really enjoy it. It's hard to even know what you want when you're young and you haven't dated a whole lot, but you already have this in this mentality. Like you think you kind of know what you want, but how that may change drastically, when you start dating and hanging out with people and talking. If I had to do it right now, I don't care how much stuff is online. I would try to find at least 2 or 3 guys and maybe a couple girls, make that a friend group and force them to go out once a week or whatever. Say, hey, on Friday nights, we all meet here. We're going to eat. I don't drink, but we'll go to this bar, or I do drink and we'll go to a bar or whatever. And I would force that social interaction in public with friends. I would also make sure that my Instagram or whatever social media you're big on, I would also make sure that it showed that I have friends that are male and female and we hang out and we have fun. Right? So when you're out with them, take a video. We're just hanging out. We're eating. We're at this place. We're blah, 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 whatever. Or pictures. And I would have that on my Instagram. And I would make sure that there are females that look comfortable with me. Because girls are probably terrified of not like talking to guys. Right? They've probably got most of that handled. But of fucking psychos online. So I would make sure that there were girls in my this sounds so creepy that I'm saying this. I would make sure that there were girls in my photos on my social media that looked like they were having fun and comfortable around me.
Your eyes one morning and like, you know, even something.
Not that it looked like I was dating them, not that I was kissing them or holding them hands, but they're sitting there across the table in a group of people and we're all having fun and we're laughing or something, you know, having fun. And not completely absent from my social media either.
That, I mean, just like, even if you don't give a shit, I mean, like, it would be like, at least, you know, you put a little bit of effort into it.
He's not gay. Just hurry up and transmax already.
I think I've done a pretty good interview. From what?
Hurry up and transmax, Clav.
Like context, because if it's from the context of what you guys reached out was your intention, then I would say that you've done a pretty shitty job. Not one, you know, question about looks maxing.
There's been so many questions about looks maxing. I probably asked you about looks maxing like 40 times. I just don't know the specific science. I'm not in the community.
I've seen Destiny give advice to his viewers about like trying to date nowadays and everything online. He might be better at it. But the thing you got to remember about Destiny is like he's also going to be detached from a level because he is famous. Right, so he gets bitches that come to him just because they want more Instagram followers. This ain't gonna work for everybody. I think he knows that, and I'm not saying he gives bad advice. I think he knows that, so he's got to kind of disconnect himself from being wealthy and well-known on the internet.
Okay, well, I mean, like, if you were to ask about, like, something in regards to hair loss, like, there's really nothing.
Yeah, sure, hair loss.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's a stupid question. These guys know nothing about hair loss.
When you wake up every single morning and you take a look in the mirror, you're 100% satisfied with every single thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, more or less.
Wow, someone with high self-esteem.
There it is. You're happy with everything, and when you look in the mirror,
it's the hair loss. Like, there's really nothing.
Yeah, sure, hair loss.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's a stupid question. These guys know nothing about hair loss.
When you wake up every single morning and you take a look in the mirror,
I would not. So me and my wife got married really young, and some of our friends did too, and a lot of them got divorced or separated or cheated on each other or whatever. I would not put too much faith in like I have to be making this much. I have to be on a very good job. I have to be promotion or partner or own a company or blah blah blah. Like me and Mariah's been through everything. We've been decently middle class. We've been fucking poor as fuck. We've had kids. We're still together. I mean, we've been together since 2009. Yeah, I didn't have everything figured out. She's helped me figure out most of it.
You're 100% satisfied with every single thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, more or less.
Wow, someone with high self-esteem. Victor can't relate to that. Braden gets upset with Andrew because he can't comprehend that somebody is comfortable in their own body, so he just ends the interview.
Okay, dude. All right, well, I guess that's just, if you want to be completely disingenuous, that's fine with me. I guess there's just no point to continue.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So he cries when people ask him about his friends. He can't take...
So because he thinks it's disingenuous that someone would be satisfied and not want to look to max, he's like, the interview's over.
The insults he dishes out. He can't even comprehend that someone doesn't feel as insecure as him. This guy is such a baby. He cries when his hamburger has cheese on it. This is real footage from his stream. Bro, just pick up another order or take it off.
Penis and vagina. Women with dicks and weak men with vagina.
A couple weeks ago, I showed Clavicular getting arrested for having a fake ID. They also charged him for having pills on him that he had no prescription for. The charges were dropped, so who cares? But he hasn't learned from it. Interviewers are coming over and showing all the illegal prescription drugs and pills they buy. He's always talking about popping pills and drinking.
So hyped to get to the club and start like turning up. I'm gonna start popping pills, drinking.
Yeah. They're always doing meth and coke.
Are you not scared you're gonna get addicted?
No, I have a lot of self-control and willpower, right? That's why I'm just like, this is what
Keep a good attitude. There's somebody out there for everybody.
I have strong will, okay, but most out there are unable to control themselves.
If you need to use red up, meth, and coke to lose weight, isn't that the opposite of strong willpower? You literally need all the help.
You see this with the obesity rates, how gluttonous people are. You know, they can never.
The worst thing that can ever happen, I think, for young men is that they get the mentality of like the fucking incel, of like, women are horrible. They don't want me because I don't have A, B, and C. They're only looking for money. They're only looking for this, because that just fucks your mentality for every future encounter you're ever going to have. And then you'll be making genuine mistakes, you know, and getting dumped or turned down or whatever, and still blaming it on, that bitch is a gold digger, or she just wanted this, or she's just out for that, or whatever. And you'll never learn from it, ever.
Just have one chicken finger. It's got to be, 20. Or they can never have one Oreo. They eat the entire box.
I want it right now. I need that right now.
You're gonna get charged again and ruin everything you've built. He now has a charge for battery. This is due to him encouraging a fight between two girls on stream. Now in Clav's stream, he cuts the audio. See,
I think it's more important to build something together with somebody than to build something singularly and then bring somebody into that. I think that'd be a weird dynamic.
You can't hear what anyone's saying, but one of these girls is a TikToker and she starts recording on her phone, but there's no visuals. But if we mix the two, we can get a fuller picture.
I'm gonna do not touch me. I'm gonna do not touch me.
Yo, you're
I'm gonna drag. You want to do this? Touch me.
What the fuck?
Do not fucking turn out. I'm gonna fight you right now. I'm not gonna. You want me to? I'm not gonna.
Beat this bitch ass. Oh shit. Beat this bitch ass, bud. Yeah. Beat her up.
You really want to do this shit?
Beat her ass, bud. Beat her ass.
At one point, Brayden pulls one girl off of the other, and then he holds her so the other one can hit her. This seems criminal. Pretty crazy thing to record and put on the internet. Levis said that he hasn't talked to his parents in years.
Who's more cousin, your mom or your dad?
I don't really get to talk to them too much anymore. I mean, it's fine, but like they know I'm busy.
Family is important though.
Yeah. I just didn't talk to my parents for like 2 years, pretty much. I live with my grandma.
He made his grandma take a picture of him flexing in the mirror. His dad calls him worried that he stayed up.
What the fuck? Graham maxing. What the fuck?
Mirror. His dad calls him worried that he stayed up for over 48 hours on stream. He's barely audible, just mumbling to himself.
Work on my voice, but I'm just recovering
from 2 nights of not sleeping.
Yeah.
You need to like take a break, I feel like.
Huh?
I feel you need to take a break.
Yeah, but
like just like a
I think if you can take a second to look at it from the girl's perspective, like empathy or whatever, like they're probably getting hit on all the time. Guys that just want to fuck, psychos, right? People that were like call them fucking whores or gold diggers or fucking OnlyFans, or they're probably being treated like shit a lot of times. They're probably very closed off and looking to feel secure with somebody or somebody they can actually trust for the first time.
good day, like 24 hours rest.
An absurd amount.
There are a lot of crazy dickhead guys that are fucking assholes. I don't know what to say, and that can't talk or speak or carry on a conversation or be interested in anything other than getting laid.
Him looking into the camera, fixing his hair. Even she can't help but comment on how much he's touching his hair.
Do you like your hair?
Mm-hmm. What are you saying? Speak up. Nobody can hear you. The amount of dead air is brutal. You can't tell me this isn't a mental illness. His dad starts texting him worried.
My dad is like so on my ass.
My parents on my ass too, but what are your parents on your ass about?
Dude, my dad will just like bitch and moan about everything like drug related.
Damn, Clap, your life is so hard. My mom doesn't let me do drugs either. He's essentially complaining about his
My dad complains about
dad caring about him.
They like don't really support what you do, right?
No.
So are they like against peptides and all that?
More so like
the actual like
substances.
Yeah.
Well, you proved them right. His chat's
I'm not saying you can't engage in that. That's like a modern thing. I think that there are girls that want to be on dates and they meet with a lot of guys who just want to, like, they want to be on dates to see if there's anything going on, right? If they can meet a boyfriend, blah, 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 or whatever. There's probably also girls that are just looking to hook up. I think being disingenuous about why you're there. Like, if you're feeling it out and they just want to hook up and you want to hook up, that's great. But there's probably a lot of girls that want to date, like be in a relationship, and they get a lot of guys that just want to hook up that are lying to them or saying whatever they need to do to say to hook up and then disappearing or whatever.
starts saying his dad is in the right.
Yogi father? Dude, I really I can't really disagree more.
With what?
With any of that shit. Like, for real. Just because someone's older doesn't mean that they're shit. Wondering what's going on.
Imagine talking to your parents that way on a live.
Coffee. Always leave. This is gonna sound weird, I guess, because you're a guy, and I never really thought about this while I was dating. But the first couple dates, you want it in like a public session where you leave them an out. Does that make sense? Like you wouldn't want to go to something where you're kind of locked in and forced to stay together for a certain amount of time, or like coffee or something simple like that is great because girls have to worry about getting fucking attacked and raped and all kinds of shit, right? So that most men don't have to worry about. So something simple to where they don't feel like they're pressured to stay. Like coffee is something like anytime they can just be like, hey, I'm cool. Like they can leave, right? Not saying they will, but as long as they feel like they can have an out instead of being like locked into something where they feel pressured to stay, would probably make them nervous, right? Like imagine you go to the zoo and you can fucking look at a bear and feed a bear, right? Now imagine being locked in a cage with a bear. Those are two different situations, right? One you can leave from, you can get back to safety if you need to. Maybe the bear's chill as fuck, right? But it's still a bear or could become a violent bear. Like going to the zoo and feeding a bear and touching a bear and petting a bear, that's cool, awesome. But there's like a fence that you can get away from the bear. Now being locked in a cage with a bear, maybe that bear's cool as fuck in the cage. You can still feed it and pet it. Or maybe it fucking eats you, like rips your fucking limb off. You know what I mean? like the first couple dates with any female, I would probably go to a place where there's not a big obligation. They don't feel like they're locked in. There's other people around in case, you know, they need other people. And there's a way for them to get out, worst case scenario. Not saying that you're going to do anything bad, but hell, they might have met somebody that was fucking, you know, wanted to take them out and fucking wear their skin or some shit.
Live stream. You'd think they never did anything for him, but it's revealed that they're still paying his bills.
We're just concerned about me, that's all.
No, you're not concerned about me. You're threatening me. You're like, oh, I'm going to turn off your phone service and all this shit. It's like...
Because I don't know what else to do to get you to just go to sleep.
Aw, daddy pays your phone bill. Aren't you rich? He grew up rich too. He's an ungrateful rich kid. He's going on podcasts now talking about how his life is suffering.
The thing that I prioritize is like being driven.
I
prioritize, you know, not a lot of the things that I do on a day-to-day basis are like the most enjoyable. Like, you know, doing work isn't enjoyable a lot of the times.
You typically stream for 8 hours, most of which is you gambling or standing at a club. Most people who stream already work 8 or 10 hours at their day job and then come home and stream 4 more hours in their free time. But poor Braden, he's suffering.
It's just something that like needs to be done. Like going to the gym, it's not like an enjoyable thing for me, but I do it anyway. So I have like no regard for like my happiness.
This guy's just describing adult life. He's unhappy because he lives a very shallow life. He OD'd and the looks maxing community didn't feel bad or care. They laughed at him for screwing up the dosing.
He just put the dosing on his stupid shit. Probably took too much. Hard.
Yeah, so like imagine something like a date that wouldn't be good early on is like, hey, let's meet up, hop in a car, drive, you know, 45 minutes away and have a picnic. Like there doesn't sound nothing inherently wrong with that. But like you're taking them out somewhere that they don't know. They're going to be stuck in a car with you for a while. You're taking them away from areas that they do know. You know, that would be a red flag for someone who's had a bad experience. But if you're like 10 dates in and doing good or whatever, that sounds like an awesome date, right? I don't have to be worried about being locked in the car with Mariah because if she does something crazy, I'll beat the fuck out of her. Steal the car. But if Mariah's locked in the car with me and I do something crazy, she's just kind of along for the ride.
And then they all admit to having OD'd themselves.
They don't act like it. We haven't. Yeah, I overdosed. Yeah. You overdosed. Okay, yeah. My brother overdosed. Pissed me a couple times.
All of you need help. When someone says they have no regard for their happiness, I'm expecting to hear something crazy. But Braden's like, I have to work a job and I work out an hour a day.
Like that seems like a very like immature idea.
Why is that immature?
To prioritize like being happy.
I'm not saying that you need to prioritize it to assess it, but you can still assess it without it necessarily being a priority.
But it's just like happiness as an idea. Like men are like supposed to be like happy. I don't really think.
Why are men not supposed to be happy?
Because life is hard and
can't you enjoy difficult things?
Not if you want to succeed to the highest level that you possibly could.
He's just quoting Andrew Tate.
I don't even understand what they're trying to ascend to. Like have all the money and all the bitches, but your dick doesn't work.
Worst possible mindset you can try and optimize your life for? Go on. Happiness. As a man, 99% of the time, you're going to be stressed or annoyed about something that just happened. I'm happy when I'm doing something, when I'm building something. That's when I'm happy. You're content.
That is a synonym for the word happy. I'm surrounded by so much stupid. Another time he's out clubbing, he does a drug deal on stream. His dad calls worried.
What's up? Yo, hey, thank you so much for my prescription. What are you telling me to calm down for?
You get out of control. Just relax.
I need to calm up. These people switched up on me.
Okay, I understand. Just relax. Relax.
I'm getting kicked out of bars 5 minutes. I did nothing.
I know that. I know. You're not 21. Just relax, okay? Just relax, okay?
How could I relax? I'm on my last nerve right now.
The only one who cares about him is his dad, and he hates him for telling him to stop doing drugs. After clavicular overdose, his dad reportedly tried to have an intervention with him. He's pouting because his dad didn't come to the grand opening of his nightclub.
I wanted my dad to come because he was here, but he didn't.
He opened this club like the day after he fucking overdosed or some shit.
The reason he opened the nightclub is because he kept getting kicked out of all the other bars for popping pills and drinking on camera when he's only 20 years old.
Holy shit, dude, I feel so much.
Man should just put belt to acid, call it a day. But wrap up this video with a question. What is the point of looks maxing? It's not to get girls, it's not for self-improvement. You aren't even allowed to be happy. It just seems like a way to sell courses on body dysmorphia. Imagine if Eugenia Cooney opened a course. At some point I won't be surprised if it leads to clavicular noose maxing because he's a miserable person. Thanks for watching. Give the video a like if you enjoy and subscribe to the channel. Thank you to the homies over on Patreon. Crimson Glass Riveter, Christina Vina, Drinkovax, Eddie Bizzle, Christopher H, Lucas Sip, Snoopy Poop 22, Amur ML Bay, Drew is Sharon, Clown Factory, and the mega homies IGP or Taxi, Cyber Katie, Lori Loaded, Papa Gut, Kate and Lulan, BA Subway, Hawk and Load, Terrock, John Manfreda, Katie Huck, Adrian Quap.
There you go, looks maxing. I didn't realize it was almost 2 a.m. I guess I shouldn't stop talking, pausing the video and talking about dating. Yeah, bud, join Discord. I'm sure people would give you advice there. I know we're probably older than you and old-fashioned or whatever, but I think the same things still apply once you get into the physical part of it. Like, I probably couldn't tell you about how to fucking get some bitch to look at your DM or whatever. I have no fucking idea. But once you get to actual dating or whatever, I think the same kind of things still apply, right? Good job for Willie Mac. Check out his channel, The Willie Mac Show. Good video. He does good like video essays or like breakdowns or researching videos most of the time. Sometimes I don't agree with him. but he does a pretty good job. Check out Willie Mack. Good luck, bud. Yeah, I'm sure you got it. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Hit me up in the DMs. You want dick pics? I got them for days. Still trying to buy a house. I keep you updated on it. Yeah, sorry we started so late. I'll be being here earlier tomorrow. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good night. Talk to you later. Love you. See you. Bye. Oh, thank you for the donations and support. I appreciate it.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the
Yeah, I think finding a girl that's into fitness might be good for you, right? As much as you like to work out and be in the gym and stuff.
I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bed.
The gym, girls at the gym get hit on a lot, so their guard's probably pretty high.
I think I shit.
But a girl approaching you might be a good sign.
Stage is set. You better
Yeah.
buckle up, 'cause you ain't seen none yet.
And they say that makes a conversation or a joke or approaches you in some way. Their guard's probably pretty high in the gym as well, though.
All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip, worshiping Trump's cock and begging for a
Nowadays, I don't think it would have been 10 years ago before everything was social media and sneakily recording bitches and shit. Like, but now, probably.
quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers, 'cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, 'cause you ain't seen
Yeah.
yet. Here we go, I think I
Just be there.
piss them off.
Never know what might happen.
Lit, get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, 'cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped them to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. My mom's an alcoholic. Give me oh my God. Damn it. Here we go.
Where is the closest place you think you can get chloroform from?
Get lit, get the place in the best, you know
I'm
that.
sure you have a rag.
You better buckle up, 'cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, 'cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking. He was doing so well. It's all over. Hands on his shoulders. They ringing his bell.
Only trying to ring I'm trying to get to is that Nuva ring.
Came first, 9th innings. They acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit, shit and bronze to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience. It's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby eating heathens. Believing in reasons with no meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the grifts. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, 'cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, 'cause
You're into it. We'll get that chili ring. Look out.
You're a pussy. You're a pussy wearing aviator glasses in your mother's basement, and I won't even give out your dime store.
Have a good night, guys. Love you. See you. Bye.